go.
Woo! Woohoo! Woohoo! So, we are going to start with you all individually having to receive a letter. Or moreover, going about your everyday business, you've received word that a messenger had been sent for you, and it is of the utmost importance. Hold on, actually, I don't like that one. What was the one that I ended up having to send? People fuck all the message. Here we go. Yeah, okay, so going about your everyday business, you've received word that a messenger had been sent for you, and it is of the utmost importance. Once met, you are handed a wax-sealed envelope to open within private confidence of yourself, or those whom it may concern above you, to heed the letter with the utmost haste. A closer inspection of the seal has the mark of the Lord and Keeper of the Realm stamped upon it. Once meeting such requirements, if inclined to, opening the envelope contains only a piece of parchment that reads, "Greetings, sir or madam, lord or lady, servant of the cloth, follower of oaths and codes, or to whom it may concern. You've been called upon the Lord and Keeper of this realm, Inquisitor of laws lost, Vanquisher of unknown, and Usurper of corrupted and tyrannical, whose tireless efforts have done his best to keep a watchful eye over our lands from demonic blight, creatures foul, hellish rebukes, and all things that wish to sow nothing but chaos unto those of the innocent and unworthy of such punishments meant for only truly wicked of us all. It is you who has now been asked to lend aid in this ongoing conflict against the forces, both known and unknown, to the knowledge of the many or few. A settlement to the east of Fangdun has not been heard of nary a word nor soul for quite some time now. It's said to believe any correspondence sent or contact made has neither received word or returned respectively. It has been set upon you, the task, to head toward this settlement and find what the blazes has gone on there. Including yourself, a small fellowship of capable persons has been chosen to answer the call, to heed this message for the fellow good of lands and peoples within who do not meet the same capabilities you hold. Upon not only returning, but especially with any information of goings-on will be greatly appreciated, not only from myself, but the Keeper and peoples thereof, with favor brought unto you that may be relinquished for monetary value if needed. As of note, if what we have feared is to be true, and the settlement is lost, if there is nothing that can be done, and the settlement is left forfeit to gods and those beyond, then be damned sure it stops there, by any means necessary. The realm counts on you to ensure the lands of around Fangdun and those thereafter are kept from a similar fate. Signed with the utmost regards and confidence, Inquisitor of Laws and second to our keeper, Zenith Ron. With this, you choose to heed the call for whatever reason seem fit, and depart to rendezvous with said company. Lago.
Yeah.
This was read
Yeah.
out. Yeah. This was read out towards you. Now it seems our compatriots of the main realm has requested our assistance, asking for what seems like a favor. And I feel like you probably would be the best choice for carrying this deed out. I'm sure you will return. Find out any information that you can. And if there's anything of note to be had, make sure to detail it back to me once you return.
I offer a deep bow. Yes, my queen, I will ensure that to fulfill the duties as best I can, and to honor the Sealy court. He bows once more.
He nods, and then looks to the side to, what is it, another one of your compatriots, another member of the court. And they end up having to do a quick wave of their hand, and you see a portal appear, sort of lit up. You see sort of kind of like a light, sort of like opaquish aberration of what looks to be a city in the distance, from what you can kind of make out.
Okay. I will scoop up my loot, offer a quick salute to the caster, and hop on through.
All right. Sarah, what's the name of your character? I forget. I'm sorry.
It's
Tremaine,
Tremaine.
right?
Yeah.
Or Tremaine.
Tremaine.
Okay, cool. Tremaine. Tremaine. This same letter was read out to you by the high priest of the Temple of What You Keep. Well, it's probably best for us to at least heed this call for now. And out of everyone, at least for your group, you seem to be the most capable at the moment. You shall return. Make sure to come back with any sort of findings that you happen to get there. If there's anyone to save, bring them back. And if there's no one, make sure to give them the final rites.
Can do.
Time and effort is appreciated. See you back here soon.
Not too soon. All right. Bye-bye.
And you end up having to make your way out toward the front of the temple. And you see that there is a carriage out front already awaiting you.
Riding in style. All right.
It's about, for you, maybe about a week so of travel. Stopping in between either small towns, settlements, or just an inn that happens just to be between the few, till you make your way to Fangdun, where there you are left by the carriage. You gather any sort of unassuming supplies or anything that is needed for the trek, and you exit the city limits and head eastward into the sprawling hills and fields. Onward. For Marlin, you end up actually being awoken. I'm assuming probably asleep in wherever you see fit, maybe at the side of a building in an alley. Somehow you had made your way into a room of, not so favored inn, and you are awoken by either a knock or a little poke and handed the letter. Rip it open, read it. Take it as what you will. And for whatever reasons, you decide that, fuck it, why not? It's probably a good idea. Might as well. Might serve, own interests and others. You already having to reside in the alleys area of Fangdun within its limits. You really don't have to traverse and travel out too far. You're a little familiar, at least, with sort of the areas outside of the city as well. So you head eastward. As you are making your way just eastward toward the hills, you can see, you can kind of see in the distance, at least over toward the east, which is at least plain to see, is that there is a mountain range that is a little bit more to the south. And then that you have heard word of a settlement having to be recently set up in sort of this valley that happens to, between the mountain range, and that also happens to connect to a very large hilly area maybe about a couple days out eastward from Fangdun. The settlement has been set up there for the past maybe 10 or so years. And as you maybe make about half a day travels out, so it's about midday at this point, you end up having to see about maybe 40 or so feet in front of you, this weird portal just kind of apparate out of nowhere in front of you. And you see, well, I guess, Lago, if you'd like to describe your character, if you have any kind of description.
Okay, description. You see about a 5 foot tall, kind of a long, large creature kind of pop out with basically another foot of ears kind of pop up and kind of fall back down to his head as he kind of drops to the ground. He's wearing kind of a light blue, kind of a nice jacket, but underneath it, it kind of turns. You can see a leather armor, studded leather armor underneath it. It's very well clean, but you can get close some nicks and cuts. His fur is a brown towards the exterior with a kind of a white underneath. He's Donald Ducking it, so he's not wearing any pants. It's all fur down there. And you see that he has a lute around his back, a couple instruments, but also kind of tucked in the waistband, in some holsters, are some daggers. It kind of turns around, and he kind of looks around like, "Oh, I love this place. It's such a wonderful. It's been forever. It feels like. Oh, where is that town? Where am I going? What's going on?"
And as you happen to look around, you see about 40 feet or so. I guess then, Marlon, if you'd like to describe what you look like.
You see
the idea.
A small halfling man, maybe 3'4", 3'5", wearing
funny man.
super tiny guy. Also very a little tougher to see under. He's got kind of grimy brown robes. Has a bit of purple at the hems, and the stitching seems to be that sort of lighter purple color as well. It's a little hard to make out under the muck, but you just barely do. Beneath that, you can see he's got a very petite frame as well to match his height. Pretty frail looking gentleman. Kind of a bulbous nose, and that's about the only thing that looks healthy on him. He has kind of a reddish hair, but real darkened by grease. So it looks almost brown. He has a staff that's a little taller than he is. Has a small clear crystal at the top. It's kind of a gnarled, blackened wood. He kind of leans against it. Hey.
What the he kind of looks straight and looks down. What the fuck? Hello? Aren't you a tiny little thing?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Are you healthy? Do you need to eat something?
I'm very well. Very well indeed.
Insight check. I don't believe that you're healthy at all.
Good.
Yeah, make that check, yeah.
Oh, my insight is my skill. I don't know what I'm doing. That's a 15.
Is there any type of perception that's needed for this, or?
No, I mean he believes he's doing very well.
Like you get this large looming bunny man just slowly come down and look at you in the face, like, well, I guess that if you think you're okay, then you're okay.
I'm perfect.
Jesus Christ.
Perfect is not the word I would use to describe you, but
No?
if you're happy.
Why? Why ever wouldn't you?
Anyway, are you heading toward town?
the abandoned one, or the one that has problems might be abandoned, might be lots of dead. We're gonna find out, I hope.
Okay, you are way too happy about that. You know that? Anyway, okay. Well, I'm going this way. If you continue to follow after me, that's fine. Just Okay. And he just slowly turns and starts walking away from the creepy little man.
He giggles a little as he follows you.
I was gonna say, so what is it, Lago? You probably would have been given a little bit of extra information of that. What is it? You've got the city, and then looking toward the mountain range. That's about the area. That's at least the general direction of where you know to head to. More specifically,
Okay.
you're not 100% sure. What is both of your passive perceptions?
Ooh, I think I actually have pretty high passive perception.
13.
My passive is 19.
All right.
Nice.
So, Lago, you happen to hear what sound? What type? I'm sorry, I don't have roll 20 open. What kind of armor are you wearing, Jermaine?
I am wearing I think I always get splint and scale mixed up, but whatever one is the higher one is what I'm wearing. Splint mail?
Do you have
I don't know.
disadvantage on?
Yeah,
Does that
split
make
mail.
sound? Does it make?
Oh,
does that
hell
make
yeah, no,
sound?
I've
Yeah.
got-
Okay.
I'm-
Yeah. Okay. I figured, yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah, basically. So Lago, you happen to hear in a little distances. You happen to hear a little ways behind where Marlin came from. The sound of what sounds like clinking armor.
All right, I'll kind of look towards my tiny compatriot. We've got company. I kind of pull up my daggers and point out over to the direction that the sound's coming from.
Beautiful, I have gifts. Pulls a small
Jermaine.
satchel out of his bag.
Tremaine, as you crest over this one hill, you happen to see in the distance these two. What is it? These two figures. One that happens to have pretty long ears that seems to kind of sort of sit behind their heads, and a much smaller, sort of slightly hunched figure.
Okay. As I crest the top of the hill, I'm kind of just like, she's when you see her, she's an older human woman. She's got like brown hair streaked with gray. She's probably like 40s ish. She's got crow's feet, like freckled, sun damaged skin. She crests the top of the hill. She's a little out of breath, and she just looks down at you guys, pulls out a little pipe, much like I'm doing now, and is like,
Oh yeah!
"What the fuck is this?"
I
Who the
hold
fuck
up.
are you?
I hold up the small satchel I'm holding. You see a fuse coming out the top. Do I give her the gift?
No, not yet. No, not yet. Not
No.
yet.
No.
No. I'm not with him just yet. We just kind of met, so I'm not quite sure where his mental state is.
It's right here.
Sure.
He puts it back in his bag.
I take a step away just for distance.
All right.
And now it has
Fucking
more
Freaky
room.
thing number one, freaky thing number two. You're less freaky. You answering the call? You guys get the letter?
I kind of hold up, copy the letter.
Cool.
Woo!
You too, weirdo?
That's an owl call. Is that the one you mean?
Sure. All right. You guys know where this place is?
Oh, generally in that direction, kind of point towards the mountains. Not quite sure
Okay.
exactly where, but could be close enough.
Shireen's like 5'10", and she's like fucking stocky. She's a big bitch, and she's wearing this
She's a
heavy-ass
big
mail.
bitch.
She's a big bitch. She's wearing this heavy ass mail. She's got like this. She's got a shield, and then she's got like a giant fucking war hammer just hanging at her hip. And she looks at the two of you, and is like, "All right, I guess I'll go in front."
Fine by me. After you. Ladies first.
Yep. Yep, I'm a lady.
I'll
All right,
follow
let's
you
go.
very closely.
Not too close.
Oh,
And then I'm thinking about it. I actually should probably pull up Roll20 just more for your character sheet. What's your
My passive perception is 18, if that's what you're gonna ask.
wow.
No, but that's good to know.
I'm wise.
Marlon, you said you were 13. Lago, you said you were 19?
Yep.
Oh.
Okay. Just a little bit more insightful.
Huh.
Or not insightful, fucking perceptive, whatever the hell that word is. You know what I
Fucking
meant.
perceptive.
Yeah.
Inciting the world.
Let's say Tremaine. You might have a little better idea of the actual direction that you're heading. So, just more based off of your background and from your studies.
Yeah.
Though geography really wasn't, your preferred subject. You do at least know sort of like the general landmarks and such. And you did end up having to get word that eastward from eastward toward the mountains in a valley. There was a recently new set up mining town at sort of the connection point between the mountains and the hills, in the deepest portion of this valley. So at least you also have more of a good idea or direction of where to head to. You probably would also have the best idea to know that you have about a day and a half or so of travel before you get there.
Okay.
But you all begin to make your ways on over.
Alrighty.
Make our way on over.
Make more.
Make him
If I could have everybody roll me everyone just roll me a perception check.
Perception. Alright. Ta-da. Ooh, that's bad. That's a bad perception. That's an 11.
14.
I rolled a 2.
I also rolled an 11.
All right.
Oh.
So the area that you happen to be walking through, as I had already described, is just wide open fields, plains. From the two who had walked from Fangdun, you had passed a couple of farmsteads, and then at this point, this far out, there aren't any other farmsteads, housings, that type of stuff, especially in this direction, eastward. But the hills are light and they're rolling, so once you get to the crest, you get kind of sort of like a better idea of your surroundings and that about you and stuff. And as the days continue, and as the day continues on, and you head further eastward, the hills start to kind of flatten out a little bit into more of plains. And as it becomes nighttime, I'm sure you all try to find a good spot, settle down, bed down for the night.
Sure.
I don't have dark vision, so.
Oh, that's wonderful. All right. I can see in the dark, and I can also do this like little bowl thing. And keep us
Little bowl
comfortable
thing?
and safe. Yeah.
A
Oh,
what?
okay.
A bowl. A ball.
Check out put us in a bowl.
A bowl.
A bowl.
Yeah, I guess I can let you in. All right. And Train will just like sit down kind of slowly, just kind of like doing that old lady, like fucking ease into the knees. She gets down, and then I'll ritual cast Layman's Tiny Hut.
I will keep an eye out while that's being cast to see if there's any sort of dangers or anything like that kind of creeping out around us.
Go ahead and roll me another perception check.
Okay, this has to be better. Oh, that's much better. What was it? What did I say that? That is a 26.
All right, you keep your eyes out and just sort of the distance, the horizon around you. And after about 10 minutes or so, the hut ends up having to pop up around you. Is there any sort of specific coloration you'd like to make the hut? I'm just asking because I know that's a feature if that matters for you.
Yeah, no, it's just gonna be clear. Or like maybe like foggy looking. just to kind of potentially obscure us, and then it'll be comfortable inside. We'll be like 68 degrees. She likes it to be a
Sure.
little bit cooler. She's gonna sleep in her armor, so yeah.
Sure.
It's an upside
A little
down
while after the
bowl.
sun goes.
It looks like glass.
Yep.
It should
I've seen stuff
hold
like this.
something. I'll minor illusion
It's,
inside the dome to look like it's full of cereal and milk. Breakfast.
Uh-huh.
Just a little while after the hut ends up having to come down, though there is a light breeze going, there's a little bit of a distinct smell that happens to specifically coming from Marlin. Just dirty, unbathed, greasy.
That my
Little
friend here.
trash.
When was the last time you bathed properly?
How long did you say we were? How long ago did I leave city?
Oh, what is it? You had you were awoken just this morning?
Just this morning.
Yeah, and it took you. What is it? And then what is it? Both you and Tremaine happened to leave it around the same time in the morning. It took you about a half day. So you've been traveling for about a half day now.
Last night.
Together as a group.
Did you now? Are you sure about that?
Oh yes, it was a glorious bath indeed.
What, just out of curiosity, what did you bathe in?
Smells
Oh,
like shit.
well, might have been part of it.
Jesus Christ. You can sleep outside the dome.
I like to
Why do
be
you
in
think I'm
the
gonna get some-
milk.
I'm gonna get some air, so good luck with that one. I step outside the dome. I stay by it, but I'm not going back in.
He's just pretending like he's swimming through the minor illusioned milk in the dome.
God, I'm loving this character too much.
Insane. He's insane.
Okay. Will anybody be keeping watch this evening?
Oh, okay. First watch.
I'll
Okay,
keep second
so I
watch,
guess-
And
And then- All right, sounds good. So, first watch, go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Perception check is crap. 13.
That's crap.
13. Your watch goes without much of a problem at all. If anything, for you just happen to be out here and just sort of this open valley, it feels kind of comforting to you. Reminds you of home. It's not as colorful. It's not really as anything or much interesting as anything that you would be used to, but
Okay.
there's a nice comfort to it.
Okay. I will kind of just take in the sights one more time because it's been a while since he's been on the material plane. Like, oh, look at the stars. It looks so normal. I can actually say stars. That's a big thing. Oh well. And he kind of shoves his head into the bowl. It's your turn. Pulls his head up.
Alright, yep. And
He stays outside the dome.
yeah, smart.
And it's not like,
Wish I
and
could
it's
do
not
that.
like that. It's not like the smell stays within the dome because air still passes through. It's
There is
more
no
of just that-
escape.
Yeah. So there is a continuous breeze that happens to go through.
I'm
come
staying
through.
upwind
From
on that
dust.
breeze.
Yeah, I was gonna say just as long as you stay upwind, you shouldn't worry about the smell even if you're in the dome.
Yeah, I'm
um,
upwind. For sure.
All right. So Tremaine, if you can make me a perception.
Okay. Natural one.
Ooh, you're great.
That's what we like to see.
Yep.
You a little ways
Smells
into
really
your
fucking
watch.
distracting.
A little ways into your watch, the breeze kind of stops for a second, or it stops for a little while, and then slowly starts to pick up. That you don't happen to notice that you are downwind and the smell is. You then decide just to sort of shift to just another side of the dome. Just that smell, fucking a little rank.
Never.
You're a little too distracted and just into the smell and just wishing you could just take a path. But your watch also goes without much of a problem.
All right. I nudge him awake with a foot, not touching him.
As
Your
you
turn.
touch him, he like doesn't respond for like half a beat, and then just sits right upright and opens his eyes after he's all the way up. Hello.
I hate it.
Yeah. It's your turn.
Good.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Tremaine will go sit down, but she's not going to bed. It's fucking creepy.
All right, Marlon, go ahead and make me a perception check.
7.
7. You are used to, at least more recently, you're just used to having to stay inside the hustle and bustle of Fangdun. It is one of the more larger cities just in the realm. And it's a little boring to you. You're more stuck just kind of looking up at the stars and just sort of trying to find more of movement, something that just catches your eye. Your ADHD's kicking in pretty hard. And then at some point you just start finding yourself just fiddling with your things, playing with your gifts, your items and such.
He'll be sharpening his sickle with a stone.
Of course he has a sickle.
Joel, I'm sorry. Were you a rabbit kind? What was that?
Yeah,
What's their name?
Yeah. Herringon.
Herringon?
Herringon.
Herringon. Sharpening the sickle really badly. Like not Tremaine, you're good with weapons, I'm
Yeah.
assuming. You see him like really not doing it right. He like takes a chip out of the blade. He kind
That's
of
about what I expect.
he looks over at Lago. The rabbit? No. No. And then he stops and looks back. Maybe later.
Go ahead and Marlon, make me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh.
Oh.
That's
9.
Oh no.
9.
As you're sitting there, probably more of a fucking up your sickle than actually sharpening. You catch a slight waft of what smells like mildew. Just feels like it just kind of comes out of nowhere. Hey!
We have a friend.
Hi, buddy!
Hello?
What's up, dude?
Hello?
Can you guys hear
Well,
me?
yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Turn you up a little bit.
Alright, let me, I am on earbuds, so bear with me.
Are you playing?
I don't know. How are we feeling about that?
Do you have a
You
character?
could. Yeah, I was gonna say,
I will be throwing my sheet together in the next 5 minutes.
yeah, no, that's cool. Take your time. It's all good.
That's right. Max going insane right now anyway, so.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
I need to,
They're loving Marlon, Gordon. They're loving Marlon.
He's the antithesis of Calder is what he is.
turn the volume of this.
Yeah, I did put down into the valley just to,
Yeah.
Turn it
Calder
down.
would
I
hate
figure out how to
Marlon.
turn on push to talk on my phone.
Oh, you're on your phone.
Yes, he is. I probably also won't be turning on my camera, unfortunately.
That's okay.
I'll try it. I'll see how it goes, but
You're good.
what the hell do I turn on push to talk? Whatever.
So you happen just to catch a slight mildewy scent come from. It's not from yourself either. It seems like it happened just to travel downwind, and you get slight flashes of what seems like moments or instances in a place that you've never been before. You get the flash of a windmill. get the flash of, instead of sight but more of sound, you hear the sort of like a quick sound of what sounds like moving and rushing water. You can smell pine, trees. That's two separate things. Pine, trees, forest maybe. You get the flash of something bright. Looks like fire. Movement. In the light. And then you feel pain. And then just kind of snap back to it.
Yes. I. Is that what you want me to do?
You get no response?
That's a yes.
You do
I'm
feel
gonna,
for a brief instant the wind suddenly change direction and push eastward. And you get a chill that just runs down your spine. A feeling that you get a feeling that is familiar to you, a little comforting. And then the wind changes back to its normal direction it was moving.
Is east the direction we're headed?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Very good. How? He eats a little grub. Taken off the ground.
Gross.
I'm gonna lean over to Lago when you're being all weird and just say, "Listen, are you gonna get all squirrely if I have to put him down?"
I kind of look close and I think you'd be doing the world a favor, honestly.
All right,
Do I
I'm
hear
on the
this?
same page.
I'll keep our voices down.
Yeah.
Whispering.
I was gonna say, you guys keep quiet.
I'm trying to keep quiet. I'm doing this while he's like
Stealth
speaking
check.
in his head.
Stealth?
Give me a
Okay,
stealth
stealth.
check.
Alright.
It's
Since
based
this has
off your
nothing to
passive.
do with armor, can I just?
Yeah. Just roll straight stealth checks. This will go based off your passive, Marlon.
Can I roll
Since you're
stealth
kind
for
of
quiet
involving
voice?
yourself.
I 26.
7. Look, are you gonna get all squirrely if I've got to fucking kill this guy? Or...
But you don't hear a response, you just hear.
Tremaine, in your head, from like the center of your brain, you hear, "I would love to dance with you."
Won't be much
And you,
dancing.
he's just staring at you.
Is this a connection I can break?
I don't think so.
So this is the invocation, right? Is there it's based off of like a specific spell, or does it just say that you can't?
Hang on.
Because I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I don't have your.
You can
I think you have an
telepathically
admirer.
speak to any creature you can see within 30 feet of you. You don't need to share a language for it to understand your telepathic utterances, but the creature must be able
Oh, are
to
you
understand
Aberrant
at least
Mind
one
Wizard?
language. No.
No.
No. Something worse. I think you have a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
And it's almost a little uncanny as he does that little sort of finger waggle. And what is it? You haven't noticed. None of you have really noticed this before. But the sky has started to lighten, and the sun just starts to crest over top the mountain range.
I think it's time to go, don't you think?
Yeah.
I brought the light into the sky. We go
You
east.
sure did, bud. Let's go.
Yeah, you are a powerful
Fucking
little
Marvel.
man. Yes, yes. All right. Well, let's go. Please
Yeah.
hurry. Pack
Yeah.
up. I could pack up myself as quickly as I can.
The
He
hut-
just takes a sickle out of the ground. I'm
So.
The hut eventually drops, and you all happen to gather up your things and continue to move eastward. Just curious, Gordon, how are you looking on that? Do you at least have like an idea of what your character looks like?
how are you looking?
Just ask. Oh, yeah, just
Literally just throwing a sheet together.
No, you're good. But, I mean,
Almost done. I've done the hard parts of it.
Oh yeah. No, you're good. So I'm not expecting you just to be done. Just more of like you have an idea of at least like what your character looks like, right? So I don't have to throw you in and just something basic, maybe.
Sure.
Perhaps
Take it
we'll
out
find
of
out.
there.
Sure, why not?
Is that a yes or a no? If it's a no, that's fine. I'm not trying to rush you. Just curious.
Give me 1 sec. I'll find a quick piece of art and then I'll throw it in the chat.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, I was gonna say, yeah, you don't need art. Yeah, whatever you want to do, that's cool. If you all pack up your things and continue your trek eastward. Who's leading the charge with this? Tremaine, are you keeping steady with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not even gonna let the little weird squishy one get hurt.
I want to keep at the back, kind of keeping Marlin in the middle, so we don't lose track of the little thing.
He'll just
Okay.
every 20 feet or so, he'll just swipe with the sickle and cut some tall grass. Occasionally
That's not
giggling to
handiwork.
himself for no reason.
All right.
No, there's a reason.
No apparent reason.
It's pretty apparent.
After about 2.5 hours or so traveling, you're getting closer to what is it? You are getting closer to the mountain range. It's just increased in size. You start to notice as you're making your way through that the rolling hills begin to start up again, and as you get to every crest, it seems as if gradually the peaks of the hills begin to increase. If I can have everybody roll me another perception check.
Okay. Perception.
All right, I think I'm ready.
Ooh, a natural 20
Woo!
Dirty 20.
for a total of 28.
Natty 1. You gonna try to camera up,
Nice.
Gordon?
Oh, yeah, sure, I'll try it out. Let's see.
The boy.
Look
There
at
it
that
is.
man. What's up? Are you able to toss me your character sheet real quick?
It is not complete, but it'll be
Yeah, no,
there
that's okay.
before combat happens.
Okay. I was going. It's yeah. What is it? We're not getting into combat. More of just nah.
Let me turn off push to talk. Just do it.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Yeah, the push to talk on phone is not incredible.
I can't imagine.
This can rest somewhere. Hey,
I was gonna say for Discord. I actually know I used push to talk for like a good year when we were playing. When I first started playing with you, Gordon, and having to keep accidentally pressing that button or forgetting to press that button is fucking annoying. What's the name of your character? Do you have a name?
yes, I do. Quentin
Good at it.
Bertolt.
Okay. Damn. See, we'll just say for the sake of it or whatever.
I have a way to write myself in if you don't.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sure.
Sure. What's the
And then we'll get to
terrain
the-
like, real quick, before we get to that?
So right now it is. So it is mostly plains and rolling hills, but the hills is beginning to gradually. The peaks are gradually beginning to increase. You are heading eastward. You're about a little more than a day or so eastward of one of the main cities of Fangdun, heading towards from what you're told is a settlement. You probably would know that over in that direction, nestled between the mountain range that's more sort of southeast, and what you know is very large rolling hills nestled in between, is a mining settlement. Sort of at the was it where the rolling hills and the mountain range happen to meet, nestled in the deepest point of the valley.
Okay. I think you guys kind of just see some like very obvious parting of the grasses behind you. Not trying to be stealthy like at all. And you just start to hear just like someone calling out, just like, my prophet, where are you? I seem to have lost you." And just
I think he's talking to you. Marlon, I think he's talking to you.
Me? Yeah. Yes!
God,
Hello?
There's another one.
"Oh, there he is! Oh, my
Holy shit! Oh my god!
running through. Just this paladin ass looking, like a holy knight looking dude in like gold and silver armor, and like just
Clang,
rocking this
clang,
huge
clang.
shield and war hammer in his other hand. Yep. Yeah, and just kind of, "Oh, I was so afraid you were lost. I wasn't sure what to do."
I'm never lost.
Oh, he's quite lost, I can tell you that much.
Just like you always say, we are never lost. Thank you.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, what's the name of your character again?
This is Quentin Berthold.
So I'm sorry,
not
are
writing down that
you're
last
with
name.
this weirdo?
Do you know this one?
Yes, of course. He is our prophet. He speaks the truths that others cannot see.
Are you sure he's seeing things that are actually there, or just...
He made a
Ask him.
giant bowl of cereal yesterday. He said he liked to swim in the milk.
I do. The milk is
There
delicious.
was
I
no
do not
actual
hold.
milk.
It was.
His actions
no
cannot
milk.
be known to us simple-minded. He speaks to the gods themselves.
The gods. Okay.
He looks Tremaine right in the eye. You saw the milk.
Uh-huh.
You did.
It's a little magic trick. You're not the first to do it. You're not special. You don't speak to the gods.
But you saw it.
I can't... I hold up my hand and cast Minor Illusion to make a small ball of milk.
There it is again! Yes! He does a little jig.
Specific.
Was it Quentin? When you have your passive, just let me know.
Yeah. I do not know. if
So-
perception or not.
That's okay.
What sort of gods do you typically follow?
The only one.
Yes, there's only one god.
Uh-huh.
The one that our prophet
Specifically,
speaks for, of course.
specifically,
Oh, I cannot know their true name. It is unknown to all.
Here it is. Yep.
okay. How about a
Awfully
hint? No,
convenient.
an idea. 2 words. Sounds like.
I know not. Prophet, have you any wisdom on this matter?
Okay.
One can
how
only
did he
know.
convince you that he was a prophet, by the way?
One
just out
can
of
only know when they
curiosity?
embrace the milk.
Okay.
Embrace it.
I'm not embracing shit. Stay the fuck away from me.
He conjures his
Embrace
own bowl of
what?
cereal. Embrace the
I'm
milk.
with her. No, I'm not. No, stop that. Stop that right now. Stop it. No, stop with the tongue. Stop with the tongue. Okay. Well, I'm going this way. I'm going this way. The rest of you can fuck off wherever you want to go. I'm going this way. And so he's going to start going further towards east.
I'm following.
Yeah,
Quit.
Tremaine.
We fuck off
having to
forward.
roll
And he follows after Lago.
Tremaine, having to be completely over this bullshit. You look down. What is it? At this point, you are cresting over one of the hills, and you happen to look down, and you can see maybe about 60 to 80 or so feet below what looks to be a figure or a body on the ground.
A body on the ground. Is it moving at all? I'm guessing no.
From what you can tell, no.
Okay.
And if you'll happen to get closer, you can tell that it is that, or moreover, it is. Looks like it's stuck in a crawling position.
Okay. I'm going to tap myself, and there's just gonna be like a brief shimmer of like dark blue light, and I knock my earphone out. I cast Vigilant Blessing on myself, which will give me advantage on any initiative rolls, and I say to the others, all right, fucking weirdo's eyes up. Something's going on. And just cautiously keeping an eye around, I'm going to approach the body.
I will follow as well, but I'm going to stealth and be very, very sneaky about it.
Sure, go ahead and roll me a stealth check.
To be sneaky.
Stealth check. Oh, that's bad. I'm going to use a luck point for that. That's even worse. 14.
Well, so question. Wait, never mind. So you have the lucky feat.
Yes, I do.
Okay, cool. Just double check.
Of course,
I was like, wait a
lucky
second.
feat.
And I was like, no, hold on a second. That's halflings.
Wrong character.
Is
yeah.
is the
I'll make sure I have
area
lucky.
is the area pretty open? Like, is there cover and stuff around?
Nope. It's just. I mean, what is it? What is it? There is tall grass. Not really much of either sitting rocks, boulders. There are definitely no trees, no bushes, any kind of foliage outside of the tall grass.
Okay.
But Lago, you feel you are in your element. Tremaine, since you are leading, I'm assuming since you're leading the charge, as you get closer, it is definitely a body of a humanoid, or of a human. And they look like, the body looks like that it's, just from first glance, you can tell, looks like the body's been there for a while. Maybe a couple months.
A couple months.
And it looks like it's been there for a couple months. And it looks like there's something that's resting, placed. Something small, maybe about like something oddly circular that's kind of flattened sitting on its back.
Something circular, flat, and sitting on its back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How close am I to the body right now?
Well, how close do you want to get?
I'm going right up to it. Yeah.
Okay. As you get up closer, it looks as if this body, it's kind of been it's not just laying on the ground. It looks as if it's kind of within the ground a little bit, as if it's kind of been pulled downward, kind of. And there's these very small, thin growths that have looks like that it dug its way into the ground, coming from the body, from the sides, from the legs. As you get taking a closer look, at least for like the fingertips and such, it looks like as if it like comes out the fingertips and on the sides, just sort of into the ground. And it looks like this circular object on the back is this weird, deflated sack. At least best that you can tell.
Oh, I don't like that. Okay, so sack. So it looks like it was part of this victim. Like it looks like a growth from its back, or
make me an investigation check.
Could I potentially make a medicine check? Could it be a medicine check maybe to see if it's like from the
Maybe.
body?
Maybe.
Either an investigation or. Are you proficient with nature?
No.
Then just an investigation check.
Okay. 14.
It looks like a. So what? I'm sorry. What was your specific question again?
Is
Like, if you're just trying to, like-
is
Go
the
ahead.
sac a growth from the body, or is this something that has landed on top of the body? So is it growing from the body, or is it on top of it?
It doesn't.
Hmm.
I'm just trying to think. So it seems like it's made out of a similar material of either similar material, fabric, substance
Fabric.
of whatever is coming out of the body and that's going into the ground. But it looks dried up. It looks deflated.
Are the rest of us able to see this all going on? Like the situation, the scene, the sack?
The sac.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, he froze. Was that it? Was that a yes?
Yes, you can.
Okay. While Tremaine is inspecting, a small spectral purple hand holding a dagger will float by in your peripheral and dip down and just cut open the sack.
I
Okay.
take a step back. It's gross, and I
Full
don't
of
want to be
milk.
super close to it.
Okay.
What's inside? What's inside? What's
Oh, I want
inside?
somebody.
So as the knife gets brought down into the sack, there's this little like puff of what looks like this weird greenish brownish smoke that happens to come out. Tremaine, if you can make me a Constitution saving throw.
Fucking do it.
Sorry, dude.
Jackass. Okay, good. So that was a natural 19, so 22.
All right. So you get this sort of like, it smells just like of just straight up like mold and mildew just gets puffed into your face, and it just sort of it bursts out into or gets pushed out into about 10 feet or so around itself, and then starts to settle and get pushed by the breeze. And you get these quick flashes of similar images of what was described from Marlin earlier. You get a flash of bright light. Looks like maybe fire. Movement. But it's clearer. You can see that there are individuals standing around you. Maybe there's an individual within the fire. And then it changes. And you are sitting within a home. Looks like you're writing. Looks like that there's something being written, or you are writing something inside either a book or a ledger. And then you just feel pain, a fogginess, clouding in your head. And then the last thing that you see is just you are now in what looks to be similar of the hills around you, of you just crawling and reaching out, and everything just goes to black.
All right.
Would there be any visual manifestation of her seeing stuff? Like a reaction on her?
At first, her reaction would just be kind of like coughing and sort of like swiping at the air, and then it seems as if almost she kind of like freezes and stops. There's no physicality in the eyes. She just sort of like freezes, and maybe sort of like her head twitches a couple times between flashes.
As somebody who
And
sees
then- and then
stuff, can I read into
And then
that?
and then after like the last twitch, she looks like she kind of like goes back to sort of like lightly swiping,
Uh-huh.
and just like and then just sort of like reacquaints herself with her surroundings again.
That was fucking
Roll
weird.
roll me an insight check, Marlon.
Dirty 20.
She certainly is seeing. She certainly be seeing something. It looks familiar to what you're used to, but it's in a different way.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I pop my head out of the grass. What did you do?
Don't fucking do that again. Nobody get near the body. That shit's weird.
So I guess after that happens in just only a few seconds. The knife goes down and starts puff. That happens, and then it cuts open the sack. And from what's revealed inside, just looks to be empty. Though it looks like that if you look on the inside, sort of like above, it looks like that there's sort of like a central point that all of these tendrils, very, very thin, tiny tendrils, sort of kind of coalesce at a point, and sort of looks like there's like a small growth in the center. Maybe two of them.
I kind of approach, kind of poke my head over, like, oh, what the fuck is that?
Have I ever seen or heard of anything like this before?
Roll me either a. What would this be? I'm just going to double check. Roll
Maybe
me
Arcana?
either.
Nature.
Roll me either a nature check or a history check.
I'll go for history. 8.
8.
Ugh.
You don't really have much of an idea of what this is, nor anything that could bear resemblance. It definitely seems like it's some type of plant thing. It seems plant-like in nature.
Fucking weird is what it is. Nobody go near it.
Tremaine, you hear again in the back of your mind. You saw visions from the Milky God.
Yeah, I don't know about any milk god, I say out loud.
I look to Quentin, and then look back at Jermaine.
Has she seen the visions as well?
I think she might have seen the Milky
what if
God's visions.
Yeah,
guess-
there's no fucking milky god.
True
I don't
prophet.
even believe in the god that I do serve.
Oh, soon there will be milk in your veins.
One
Don't
last
talk
thing.
in my head anymore.
One last thing to note. From the flashes of these scenes, before the pain was onset, you felt a nervousness, anxiety. And then once the pain hit and passed, that was gone. And then after coming back to, the nervousness and anxiety comes back and lingers a little while.
Spikes a little
Eventually
when
fades.
Marlon talks to you.
Outside of that.
Having come from looking at these weird plant stuff inside the body, having been from the Feywild, does this seem like familiar to me at all? I don't know if there's anything sort of that I've come from there.
Roll me a nature check. Roll me a nature check.
Ooh, my nature is not good. Okay. 8.
Nope. Seems weird. Seems odd. Definitely doesn't any kind of. If this was Fae, this is some out of character Fae.
Okay. Kind of looks at it, kind of turns his nose up at it, and is like, well, you should probably get going before one starts poking more tings and more milk comes spilling out and him blathering on about milk.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be a blessed day.
It would.
Oh,
More power to
Speaking
milk
of
for
the
all.
two of these guys.
Oh, okay, let's go.
And y'all continue, and you continue on eastward. Excuse me. About another 4 or 5 hours, you continue on, and get past midday and starting to get into the evening. At this point, you are close to the base of the mountain range. At this point, the hills are rising, falling, rising, and falling, and then it seems as if the hills begin to sort of turn into a direction more northeastward. And they're very slowly and gradually between the base of the mountain range and the hills. There's this sort of light crest or dip, though still up and down, that begins to lead further and further down. You also start to notice, uncharacteristically, every so often, that the tall grasses that you're used to seeing, there seems to be sort of these little bare patches with these odd little growths of lichen and mold.
Does it look similar to the mold that we saw growing out of the guy?
Similar.
Ooh.
Some differences, colorations, textures, but there's similarities.
Any more bodies? Or just the mold?
Not from what you've seen or noticed.
I watch those two to see if they start trying to touch any of that mold stuff, following their milky god.
If anyone is curious enough to touch it, nothing happens. It just seems dried, and if you put enough pressure on it, it seems to crack, break. If you pull some of it away, there's just if you happen to pull some of it away, it looks like they kind of like with like just a little bit of strength, you sort of like pull out, and it looks like what could be similar seen to roots come out, and there's just dirt underneath. You'll press on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
You continue forward, and as you end up having to crest over one hill, you end up having to see what looks to be the beginnings of a forest that starts to show itself. Or moreover, the further down that you happen to go, it looks as if there's there instead of just tall grasses, it starts to become normal, regular grass with some light foliage here and there, and then the beginnings of saplings. And then the odd tree here and there. As the sun begins to set over one of the hills as you guys continue to move forward, it looks as if you are beginning to enter into what is a valley. And there is a forest.
This looks nice.
Everything look as we would expect it to look. Aside
Roll
from
me a
the
perception check.
odd patches.
I'll join in on that. Okay.
Yeah, anyone would like to make a perception check? Perception check, they'd like.
Sure.
I can't.
Natural 20 again.
21.
14. Like heavy on the 11s
I
on
do
this
not have
time.
dice.
Yeah, if
I
you
will
want
do
to.
it in the roll 20 game.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, okay, cool. So if your character's
Ian.
roll 20, that's easier.
Yep.
So now I'll just have your character pulled up, or your sheet pulled up.
Yes,
Like
the
it.
sheet is done, by the way.
Look at it. Okay. For anybody
You're
who
not gonna
happened
get anything on
to,
that.
so nothing really seems out of the ordinary. But for anybody who happened to roll a 20, the wind seems like as if the wind seems like that it's started to pick up a little bit. It is kind of coming down either from either from the mountain range or from some of the dips that are in the hills that are off more toward the north, and is kind of heading upward toward your direction. So you guys are downwind, and who happen to get over a 20, you smell mildew and mold.
I look at
A
whatever
little bit of
your name is.
and you happen just to feel a little bit of humidity. Kind of,
Ooh.
it's faint, but it's a little it's out of place.
Oh, that's unpleasant. Ugh.
Yeah. It smells like it
Oil
smells the
milk
same as
on the
the
wind.
shit that puffed in my face.
Not as strong, definitely not as strong.
But like a
But
very similar. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, I think we had to head that way anyway. I had to head that way, so this will be
Yeah.
fun. No, don't you
Yes.
look like that. Don't look happy. This is not a
Very
happy
fun.
thing.
Such
No.
fun.
Did you all want to bed down for the evening, or want to just push just a little bit more? It's not. I'm not asking for like Constitution saves. You still maybe have about like another hour or so. But
Oh,
just up to you. I'm just asking. I promise there's nothing behind it.
do we want to push on or bed down for the night?
How late is it?
It's maybe about 8 p.m., 8ish.
We could bed down for the night.
All right.
Yes, the smell of spoiled milk on the wind is a bad omen.
Yeah, listen. You,
Oh, it's, uh,
fucking big weird one. Can you do anything about
Yes.
the smell?
No.
Alright.
Well, oh,
You guys can't sleep in
Okay.
the dome. You can sleep in the dome.
terrific. All right, I'll keep an eye out
Or
while
you
the
could
dome's
find
being put up.
somewhere to bathe. If you can do something about the smell, you can stay in the dome.
I don't see any bodies.
What? What does that have to do with anything?
To bathe.
Yours.
No.
You clean.
Sleep outside. It's fine. It doesn't bother me.
Okay, well, yeah, you two have a nice night out here. We're gonna be in there, away from you. Goodbye.
Yes.
I back up into the dome, like Homer Simpson back up into the dome.
As you're backing into the dome, you hear like in the back of your mind, it like makes your skin crawl a little bit. Sweet dreams.
God.
Fucking creep.
So I'm just going under the assumption that watches will be taken from here on
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yes.
So who's taking first watch, second watch, third watch?
I'll take
I'll
first.
take first.
Okay.
I'll
Second?
take second, then, I guess.
Oh, okay. Third.
Yeah, I'll take second. Yeah.
Okay. Lago, go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Okay. Let's see. Which one's not gonna betray me? You're not gonna betray me. You're gonna betray me. As a 13.
13. You're taking watch, I'm assuming, outside the dome.
Yeah, on the opposite side of where they are, so I can basically pop out.
Is
and then
the
I
dome-
know I'm right there?
Is the dome still clear?
Yeah. Yeah, it's mostly clear. It's just like a little
All right.
misty.
Okay.
All right, so I'll
From
pop out on the
outside
other side
the dome
though.
before he goes to sleep. Minor illusions it to look like a bowl of milk.
Jesus.
Upside down.
Hey.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah, 13 is my perception.
Okay. Similar as the night previous, though, not open plains. It's interesting to be out in the material plane again. It's not like home, but there's similarities. It's still a comfort, but nothing happens on your watch.
I will kind of just, as I'm during the watch, I'll be keeping an eye on those two crazy individuals. Make sure they're not doing anything.
Sleeping, dog.
Before we sleep,
someone-
just like, Prophet, if you require bodies, I could easily acquire some for you.
He looks to the other two.
Not yet.
Very good. Yes, I understand.
Do you say
They
that out
still
loud or in the
have
mind?
milk to give.
Oh my god.
It's awful. I hate this. I hate it so much. I wake up.
The milk is new to me too. Just so everyone knows.
Hey, also
no
me.
idea.
It just gotta
Oh, okay.
happen, and I'm rolling with it.
Yeah.
Understood.
I wake up. Sarah, what's your character's name again?
Remain.
Tremaine.
Tremaine. I wake up Tremaine, and just kind of give you a look, give those two a look, and just like give a little shrug, and then go to sleep.
Okay. Tremaine, go ahead and roll me a perception check.
19.
19. Nothing much really happens on your watch as well. You just keep smelling the mold, the mildew,
Okay.
the feeling, the slight feeling of humidity. It seems like it's, especially having to be outside for a little while now, it feels like that from the direction that the wind is blowing, that it's coming from the forest.
Okay. Alright, at the end of my watch, I will nudge with my boot the non-smelly one, and he can wake up the smelly one. And I'm going to bed.
The steps to the process.
All right, Marlon, go ahead and make me a perception check.
May I assist?
Yeah, sure.
When I assist you, buddy, you get an extra D6 when I
Oh.
take the help action. Yeah.
I should get out some dice, huh? Here we go. Okay. Dirty. No. Yes, 21.
Not much really happens with you either.
Okay. He'll
Just that continual light smell of mold, mildew. You begin to notice and feel the humidity in the air. It seems like it's coming from the forest. You do see what looks to be a very faint, the faintest of like a light purple glow. It's almost like a dot. Looks like a bit of ways into the forest.
Okay.
Just from your position, you could barely see it. If you were just to step to the left or the right, you wouldn't.
Does that mean anything to me? Purple glow? Or just like interesting?
I mean, let's check. Fuck it. Why not?
14.
Nope.
During his watch, he'll use mold earth to scoop out a bowl in the ground and minor illusion it full of milk, and then he'll sit in it, and he'll change the illusion so it looks like blood, and then he'll giggle and change it back to milk. And then just sitting in the milk, he'll go back to badly sharpening / fucking up his sickle, and he'll
Quentin, are you
look
awake as
over.
well?
Huh?
Yeah, I'm awake.
Okay. Just checking.
Just
I
watching.
figured since you were listening, but
Yep,
yeah.
just watching. Just laughs along as you switch it from blood to milk and back. Like, oh, a good joke.
Yeah. A good joke.
Good joke, sir.
Good job.
Very good, very good.
As he's badly sharpening the sickle, he looks over at Shemaine.
Yes. Soon enough. No. Useful. Milk? Maybe later.
That's all.
You happen to notice that little blip of purple through the trees early on in your watch. And later on in your watch, when you happen to look back at it, you don't notice it anymore. You haven't changed positions, but it's not there. Whether if it went out or if it moved, you don't know.
Okay. I'll point it out to Quentin at some point.
An odd occurrence. Have something watching us. Beyond
Maybe.
the Milky Veil.
Beyond the Milky Veil. We must investigate. Quentin?
This is true, but as you said, the others have much milk to give. We should wait for them to wake.
Yes.
He splashes around in his fake milk.
You're just like clapping.
Very good. Yes.
Yes, sir. Very good.
Appeasing the psychopath.
He is a psychopath.
Light
The
slowly
people that
starts
join the
to...
cult are just as crazy as the people that make the cult.
Light starts to slowly start to show up in the sky. You haven't seen the sun quite yet just because of how close you are to the mountain range and the hills. But it's around that time at the end of the watch. It's about morning. Daybreak.
Awake! We fuck off to the east!
Great.
Right, we're going that way anyway. Okay, just hold your horses.
I have no horses to hold.
I minor illusion of horse. Hold that. And I start walking towards the forest.
He's continually tries to reach at it, brushing through the minor illusion.
Oh no.
Quentin, what's your passive?
Nothing. It's probably a 10, I think. 11. Yay.
Yay.
Hey, no, something better than a 10.
not a 10.
Better than a 10. Who's leading the charge here? Tremaine
Me.
still?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to keep to the back because I want to keep both of these insane people between me and Tremaine so that they don't try to stab us in the back.
Why would we do that?
Well, why would you do that?
Hmm.
I just know it's coming then.
Y'all continue forward and downward. It seems as if the peaks aren't as high as you're used to having to walk through. It seems as if it kind of comes up a little bit, and then a bit more of a dip, and a bit more of a dip. At this point, or at least moreover, as you begin to walk, you can see now that there is a small lush forest, more of a pine forest that sits here at the bottom of the valley, and that happens to come upon what looks like sort of this hill that happens to come up just sort of the back of the forest, almost at a steep angle upward, and then just sort of like rises and then meets between where the mountain range and the hills happen to be. Anyone who's proficient in nature, roll me a nature check.
Ner-
Mm-mm.
Right?
Anyone proficient in Arcana?
Arcana.
Nah.
No?
Nope.
Okay.
I got
Great. You won.
jack of all trades. That's the closest I got to proficient on that.
Wait, what is it?
Jack of all trades. So I have a +2.
Nah. Okay.
Nah.
So we will.
Nah.
Anyone have an intelligence ability score of 15 or above?
Uh-uh.
Nah.
Right. That's okay. That's fine. Then we continue on. It's okay.
Charisma based.
We just learned a
boy.
lot about our party.
No, it's okay. It's cool. I'll keep that in mind. It's good to know. Anyways,
This explains much.
You continue on downward. It takes about maybe an hour or so before you end up having to get to the actual base of the forest. It's interesting. Maybe most toward Lago. You're used to having to enter into forests, and without even having to get too close, you at least can begin to hear faint signs of what sounds like life, birds. Maybe you happen to see just sort of like a quick movement and go up a tree. But having to be this close to the forest, what is the beginnings of the forest, doesn't really sound like there's much life going on here, ambient or not. Maybe like a random chirp here or there, but it's just odd. Gives you a little bit of a weird.
I'll bring that to the party's attention and be like, weird. And the trees look alive. There's like, this looks like a lush forest.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's kind of weird. How often are you folks in forests and such?
Not often.
Well, I'm assuming you two over there, you don't go outside much. Just a hunch.
When I dream.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, he turns back to Tremaine. Anyway, typically, a forest like this, that's as lush and alive as it looks. Lot more noise, a lot more going on. If you listen, just listen as closely. Very quiet. I don't like it. We should be on guard.
Noted. Does it still smell fucky? Is the smell getting worse?
Now
It is.
that you happen to notice it, yeah, it's slowly beginning to become stronger. It's not like a quick gradual. It's not like, super like quick of like stronger. It's very gradual.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah. Everyone on their
You-
guard.
All right.
Continue on. You enter into this very lush pine forest. The trees every so often having just to kind of be in between. And you can see what looks to be almost like what is starting to slowly become the incline for the mountain range, or for more over the mountainside off to the south. See, it seems as if the incline is slowly beginning to increase. And kind of slowly similar with the hillside as well. Until it gets to the point where you get further into the forest and the trees are much closer. And the foliage starts becoming thicker. To the point where it's kind of hard for you to be able to even just see from side to side.
So it's getting steeper and the trees are getting thicker.
Correct. Thank you. Words.
Is it dark,
Sorry.
or is it just like the coverage is hard to see through?
Just with the coverage, it's hard to see through. It seems like the forest is becoming denser. In about an hour of travel or so, Lago and Tremaine, every so often you happen to notice, which seems natural. Little patches of fungi having to grow. Maybe some oyster mushrooms that's on the side of a pine tree. You see a fallen log that has some turkey tails. Some lichen that's growing on the side of another pine tree. Sort of normal, natural stuff. Lago, you're used to having to see that type of thing. Maybe not so, what seems to you mundane for what you're used to. But as you get closer to that hour, and it starts becoming 2 hours, more and more of these mushrooms and fungal growths seem prominent. And the mildew smell and the humidity in the air is definitely noticeable if no one's noticed it before. And it's interesting. It seems as if that though the trees are starting to be are slowly becoming more sparse, it hasn't gotten any brighter.
How close are we to the place where the town is supposed to be?
You are not sure. You just know that it is at the bottom of the valley where the mountain range and the large hills happen to meet.
Okay.
What's with all the mushrooms? Seems like a bit much for this type of environment.
Yeah. There's a weird kind of fungus growing out of that guy. Smelled a lot like this.
Now that you're actually looking around, it's a little interesting. Before, when you were walking through the forest, there was, the crunching of branches and maybe some pine, dried up foliage from the shrubbery and such. But now it doesn't really seem like that there's not really as much of that. It seems as if the forest floor is more, best way I can describe it, kind of matted. There's still every so often like a crunching if you happen to step on a dry spot, but little spongy maybe at parts in the further away you go in.
Take my dagger as we're kind of walking, and when it's spongy, I want to dig my dagger into the ground and see if I kind of, as I cut into it, does that feel like I'm cutting into a mushroom? Has that soft sponginess like I'm cutting into a mushroom?
When you first stab it in, immediately, yes, but then almost immediately it feels like then you're just pushing it into dirt. And if you happen to cut into it, you can just kind of see that there's just this very thin layer of what looks like mycelium.
Ew. I point that out.
And if you happen to pull it up a little bit, you can tell that there's just these many very small strands of mycelium that happen to, at least at first, is stuck into the ground. But the more that you happen to pull it up, the less and less happens to come out.
Okay.
You're getting more dirt.
Kind of walking on a mushroom right now, just a little bit.
Delicious.
I'm not a nature expert,
do
but
not-
that seems fucking weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I do not get out of the milk estate much, but that seems odd.
The fucking
Even
milk
to me.
estate. The hell is with you guys?
The milk estate is everywhere. It's in your mind too. You've seen.
Fucking mushrooms. Let's go.
We must test.
He's gonna pull out a torch and light it and hold it up to the mycelium on the ground. Do they react in any fashion?
Nope.
He touches
You're maybe
it
like a
to it.
You hear maybe once you touch the flame to mycelium, you maybe hear like a slight sizzle, and then it catches for a second, and then
They
and then at least around from where the immediate flame after the sizzle and it kind of catches a little bit, it sort of spreads just a little bit and it goes out.
Did it like kill it in the area that it burned, or does it
When you
look
lift it up-
like
when-
untouched?
When you lift it up, it looks charred. It looks burnt. It looks dead. You step on it, it crunches, it breaks, it cracks. It's more just like charred now.
Doesn't like fire.
He flips the torch and sticks it in the ground to put it out. He's gonna pull out a vial of a green substance and drip a little bit of acid on a living spot.
Okay. It sizzles, it burns, it eats its way through. Kind of, it just in like a little bit. It just maybe about like an inch or so in, and then it goes out. And then from a similar thing of what Lago had saw from cutting in, there's just this very thin layer of mycelium, maybe about a centimeter or so, and then it's just dirt.
I'm curious now. So where I see that layer of mycelium, I'm just gonna not getting too close to the fucking weirdo, but I'm just gonna kind of, and then shoot off a sacred flame, and just see if it reacts the same way to radiant damage.
Okay. Ends up having to fire it. Goes out and just sort of this little puff of radiant fire energy kind of sort of goes out, and you see sort of like a little like burnt pockmark on the mycelium. Similar effect as maybe a torch or so. Maybe just like a little bit larger, more powerful.
Alright. Well, it's reacting the way I would expect mushrooms to react. So
All right. Well, let's keep on going, I guess.
yep.
As we move on, Marlin looks to Quentin.
She begins to test with the milky wisdom. Perhaps a new
She may learn
acolyte.
just yet.
You're gonna kill your character.
should
before
show
this
her
one
the
shot is
way.
over.
We should show her the way. This
Kill you.
is the Milky Way.
Oh,
Roll me a
I'm leaving.
D100.
D100.
Okay. Wait. I need. 55.
55.
Yeah.
Your head explodes.
Ooh.
Okay. 1 second. I love the nervous laughter. Thank you very much. Oh, well, hold on a second. Which one do I want?
Uh-oh.
No, that doesn't work. Oh, wait, no, hold on. That's the wrong one. Nah, that's already how you are anyways. Never mind. Okay, I'm going to go with the first one. Just double check.
It's already how
I don't
you
like that.
are. That's concerning.
Yeah, that's a
Don't
little,
worry about this.
that's a little interesting to hear.
Okay. Can you
Mm-mm.
roll to attack for me?
Roll an attack?
Mhm.
Like a melee attack or a spell attack?
Roll me a melee attack using your. We'll say using your sickle.
Jagged ass sickle.
Yeah. Sickle's a strength weapon?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
Yep. No finesse.
That's highly unfortunate. 8.
I'm assuming that does not meet your armor class, Quentin.
No.
No. Not quite.
Quentin, just out of nowhere from just next to you, Marlin just quickly reaches for the sickle and just goes out for a swipe towards you. Just instinctively, just grab your shield, just kind of just toss it to the side, and just block the hit.
Ha! Another test, my prophet. I thought I had surpassed these quite some time ago. But I'm always ready.
He looks around a little confused.
Yes, always testing. Always testing.
And he scurries forward.
I just want to let you know. I just want to let you know that wasn't. I left it up for you to roll. It's kind of as a joke, and I didn't mean for you to actually do specifically that. But I rolled on the madness table. So, yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, y'all continue forward.
You roll a madness table and said, "Oh, that already affects you."
Oh, he's
No,
already
not
nuts.
that one.
Oh, okay, yeah,
No,
no, that one, no. Well, actually, no. So I checked the madness table and I checked a different table, and the other table I was like, nah, that's already happening. We'll go back to the regular madness table. As you continue on, Lago and Tremaine, I'm assuming both of you are proficient in perception, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
You both roll me perception checks.
Actually, I am not. Oh, yeah, I am perception. Yeah, never mind. I'm reading the wrong thing.
27.
Okay. Perception. Ew, gross.
Ew.
Luck. Why not? I'll burn a luck. Much better. Dirty 20.
Okay. Tremaine, though you've only been walking since your little test on the ground for about 15 minutes or so, and since the trees are starting to kind of become a little bit more sparse, you can see in the distance what looks to be this very odd looking trunk of a tree. It's not like a dark, deep brown like the pine trees that you've seen having to walk through. Looks like more of like a lighter brown. Maybe
And
a beige.
It's just a trunk, or
From what you
Are
can
they,
tell. Oh yeah, from what you can tell, just kind of like looking through the brush and the trees ahead of you, you just see sort of this beige looking trunk.
okay? I don't see any branches coming off of it.
Nope.
Is there anything around it? Any like structures? Any signs of settlement?
Nope.
It's just a trunk all out by itself.
Mhm.
Okay. How far off is it?
Maybe a good 200 feet or so, a little bit more. Kind of hard to gauge the distance with just everything in the way.
Gotcha. I'll just point it out to the others. Say, fucking eyes up, and keep moving and keep an eye out and about.
Okay. You continue, and the mushroom growths around on the trees, anything fallen, continue to slowly become more prominent. And the brush starts to dissipate. And you keep your eye on what you saw. And it's weird. It's very much out of place. You see this 10-foot or so tall mushroom. Maybe about a 5-foot, 7-foot in diameter width of a stalk that goes up and then eventually quickly just sort of like widens out to like a mushroom cap.
What's the smell like here? Is the mildew smell like super strong?
Very much so.
Okay.
And the humidity, you can just the humidity is beginning to get to that point where you can almost feel it in the air.
I'll be honest. I don't want to get super close to that thing. I think there's something fucky going on with the mushrooms in this valley.
Is it time for
So,
a gift?
Holds up the
Not
little
yet.
satchel with the fuse.
That
I
might
say
not
let's
be a
just,
bad idea.
Maybe let's see what's in the town, but for now, let's just give this thing a wide berth. Do I know anything about mushrooms? Like, would I know that mycelium communicate?
Roll me.
No.
Roll me a nature check. Add your proficiency modifier.
Okay.
Guidance. No, I'm
Just for
just
the-
kidding. I'm just kidding.
I'll say just for the fact that you've got the book learnings and book source.
Can I? I forgot that I'm a cleric. Can I actually guide myself as I'm sitting here thinking?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
100%.
So I guide
Yeah, of course you can.
myself. What is that? A D4?
Mhm.
I think. Yeah. Okay. Shit. Sorry. Hang on. I've got crap all over my desk.
Quite the mouth for a cleric.
Yeah. Well, it's me. So. Okay, visit nature with proficiency, so... Okay. So, hold on. 13.
You're not too sure. You at least know that mushroom, fungi, lichen, they're more seen as... They're like in weird in-between of animals and plants. At least to your knowledge, from what you've been told, or more from what you can remember, they happen to sit in more plants than animal. But if they happen to communicate with each other, you don't remember,
Okay.
or you don't know.
Okay. Then, yeah, I just say, let's give these things a wide berth. If you guys don't mind.
Works for me.
Alright.
Going forward, the mushroom growths on the trees and around you become they're much more prominent. The trees continue to dissipate. And you see another about 10 or so foot mushroom stalk, a little ways off to your right. And a smaller one, maybe about like 5 foot or so off to your left. And slowly going further down, more and more begin to, shouldn't say pop up, but appear. Begin to notice them. Make themselves known. Lago, you happen to notice in the distance, and at this point, it's maybe been about, since y'all were playing with the mycelium on the ground, it's maybe been about like an hour and a half or so. You notice through the trees and some of the stalks, there's some kind of structure in the distance. Looks kind of wide, maybe circular.
Okay. I will point that out. Like, I think we're coming up to something. I'm gonna point it out.
Fucking
Let's
finally.
see.
Just looks like a
Continue.
building.
Yeah.
Uh,
So,
uh,
what is it? As you begin to come closer, probably should have. I actually, now that I think about it, should have mentioned this. Maybe about half hour or so. It seems as if that there's like this sort of like stream that appeared, as if like it had then dipped back into sort of like a little kind of like pocket into the ground. So right now you are kind of like, so right now you're kind of like walking, sort of, kind of seems like you're walking upstream. At this point, it hasn't really dipped, and then I guess around that point as well, you went from sort of like a downward incline to where it's kind of like leveled out a little bit.
okay. Is there any animal life in that stream?
Nope.
Okay.
Have you heard any sort of semblance of animal life when you first entered the forest? It certainly isn't now.
Okie dokie.
Or if anything, life hasn't made itself known.
Don't like
Would
the
you
way
continue?
that sounds.
But you continue forward, and it seems as if that you go from it went from sort of like a slight like decline to now a gradual a like slight gradual incline. And you see in the distance what looks like an abandoned or destroyed windmill. It's not spinning.
That looks fancy.
Mm.
It looks like that it has a lot of mycelium growth, lichen growing on the sides, the front. There's a couple scattered small mushrooms that are growing off of the actual fans of the windmill themselves.
Marlin smiles and leans over to Quentin.
I've seen this. This windmill.
You have. Was it in Milky Vision?
Yes. I think we're supposed to burn it.
So, from what you remember of the
I
windmill,
light a torch.
from what you remember of the windmill did not look like this. It at least looked like that it was taken care of. It was not covered. It was not overgrown with anything.
Uh-huh.
And there was a slight spin to it.
But it was it this like? Does this look like that windmill?
This
fucked
looks
up?
like
Okay.
this looks like the same windmill.
Okay.
Shall
I
we
look around?
investigate?
I lit a torch. I'm heading towards it.
Can I look around to see if there's like a sign that says John's Windmill or some sort of
John's
ownership
Windmill.
of this windmill that belongs to somebody?
Go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Okay. Let's try this one. Nice
Meanwhile.
sugar-colored. Ooh, 28.
Holy shit.
Excuse me, 28. You do not see any physical sign or just any actual sign or just any kind of sign or indication of there having to be any sort of writings or markings anywhere.
Okay.
I'll follow Rupert and say he has the Milky inspiration. Proceed.
I love this guy.
All right. I have a torch. I'm gonna go for it.
I have a torch.
I don't know. Is anyone stop me?
I don't think
Someone stop me.
that's a good idea to burn something in a forest.
Are we in a forest
so-
anymore?
Well, it's interesting because as you end up having to make your way over toward the windmill, it seems like that the windmill is just on a kind of like a slight hill. And it seems as if it's starting to become a mixture of the pine forest and a mushroom forest. And just having just a slight height advantage, you can see a little ways past the windmill and to the sides that the mushroom stalks, some of them, their diameters have increased. And they are much taller. Where before you were used to seeing maybe 5-10 feet, a little bit taller, their height goes 30, 40, 50 feet.
Jeez.
Minecraft.
Big old shrooms.
World of Warcraft.
And another thing to note, at this point, it should be midday, or moreover, it is midday. It should be brighter. But it's been a constant dim light. If you look up overhead, through some of the pine that you can see some rays of light of the sun having to shine through, of what just looks like the bottoms of mushroom caps. These wide, sort of just large caps above you, kind of sort of stacked or layered on top of each other.
Mushrooms all the way down.
As you get closer to the windmill, There is a what is it? You are walking at this point. You are on the right side or the south side of this stream that begins to sort of widen, and you can see that there seems to be sort of like a largish stone in the center of it, with the water flowing around it. And you're at, of course, the front of the windmill, but the door to the inside of the windmill is ajar.
Ooh.
All right.
It's
Okay.
always best to start a fire from the inside.
Well,
Let's see about
see if
that.
anyone's home before you start lighting shit up, huh?
Yes, better if they are.
You said the door's
Those are
ajar.
two separate ideas there, Marlon. Two separate ideas.
I'm just gonna walk
there.
up to it, and
Sure. As you walk up, there
Knock,
is
knock.
a sure. So as you walk up, there are a sort of like there are a couple of like not broken. There are like a couple of like tree stumps that are sort of like nearby this windmill, and there's like a light footpath that seems like that's kind of like led toward that probably was made out more from like foot traffic. There's a broken water basin and a couple broken pots that's close by near the door.
Okay. I will slowly kind of open the door and peek inside.
Sure. You go to push the door, and it doesn't give for a second. So you use a little force, and you hear sort of like a slight snapping, ripping, and the door pushes free. And you look inside to see what is more usually inside of windmills. You can see these large wooden gears and spokes that seem to these like large wooden gears and spokes that are smaller, and then of course get larger, and then eventually lead upward into what looks to be a sort of into like the ceiling. In front of you, at least across the room, there is a ladder that looks like leads up to an opening. You can assume is a second floor, and next to the ladder, to your right, there are a bunch of sacks, what you assume to be sacks of maybe grain or barley, that just has lichen grown over top of it and mushrooms growing out the side.
Okay. I'm not interested in going further inside. I look back at the others and say it's more of the same, but there's a little footpath here. I'm guessing we can follow to the rest of the village.
Works for me.
Lovely.
Alright.
Quentin,
Yes, as you wish. I'll just start lighting different spots.
Okay. So, what is it? So, I guess
It's
just for a
just
little.
humming.
Yeah, sure.
It's
So,
just
so I
humming,
guess just.
and then every now and then, just like boiled milk.
Sure. So, what is it? You wouldn't really be able to. If anything, you might be able to
lactated
light
blessings
some
be
of-
upon us all.
you might be able to light some of sort of
Something
like
wrong
the
with you.
more of like the moss that's grown onto the inside of the walls here. It looks like this windmill is mostly made out of stone. So you'd more likely have a better chance of having to light up the sort of like overgrown sacks of grain and barley, and then what is it? Of course, like the wooden spokes and gears, but yeah, like the wooden spokes and stuff like that inside as well.
Perfect.
And more for the overgrown portions, you kind of have to like hold it there a second for it to catch, for you just kind of like burn away the growth, and then especially the sacks. Once you burn away the growth, the sacks catch almost immediately, and just start a slowly envelop with flame and then begin to kind of like grow. And the ladder eventually will catch on fire. It starts licking the ceiling above, the wooden floor ceiling above.
Take
Alright,
a
good
take a
job.
deep sniff. Take a deep sniff, just like like boiled milk on a Sunday afternoon. And then
Oh.
sniff
Fucking weird. Can we go now?
it.
Please, let's go. This place stinks now. More
It's
so
like
than
a
before.
dream.
All right.
Fucking creeps.
Y'all
Marlin
can
skips down the footpath.
Heading down the footpath, you can see which follows maybe about like 20 or so feet next to this next to sort of like this like large stream or brook, whatever you want to call it. And you can what is it? And there is a bridge you can see in the distance that leads over top of the water to the other side. That the footpath happens to lead to. And that happens, but it does. Crossing over that bridge. Continuing on to the footpath. Lago and Tourmaline, Tourmaline, sorry, I'm thinking, I just assume, it's spelt so similar to Tourmaline, like in Icewind Dale, that's just what I first think of. Sorry, Tremaine.
Yeah.
The two of you end up having to notice in the distance, kind of behind what's still some sort of shrubbery here, you noticed some wood and a wheel.
Okay. I kind of I give Tremaine a nudge. I think that is someone's home or something. There's a giant wheel over there.
Wood in a wheel. Does it look like
like a water wheel?
carriage or a wheelbarrow or
It looks like a wagon wheel.
A wagon wheel. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I think it's like a water wheel. Like, oh, look, there's a wagon wheel over there.
Yeah, it's not that large. No.
Okay.
What is this? A water wheel for ants?
All right. I guess we're getting closer to civilization.
Oh, thank God. I'll be happy when we can put some distance between us and kind of just point behind him, point at the others.
Yeah. I think it's gonna get weirder before we lose them, though.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, let's go check out that little the wagon, see if maybe there's something in there that might make sense.
Wouldn't that be nice? Yeah. And
Anything.
Says the
Anything
talking-
that makes sense.
talking
It'd be great.
rabbit.
still looking around for danger.
Mm-hmm.
Danger. I'm sorry, so are y'all checking out the wagon or you just
Yeah.
continuing on? Checking out the wagon.
Check out the wagon.
Alright, so anyone who is getting closer to the wagon, go ahead and roll me an investigation check.
Investigation.
Yeah, I'll
What
go
is
too.
it? Having to just kind of like push and pull away some of the brush. You can see what looks to be a broken down wagon.
23.
23.
18.
4.
A nat 20
Ah!
or 19.
Ooh.
For a 19. Okay. Yeah, so this is a broken wagon. Looks like that. It looks like the wagon, at least at first, had gotten stuck. One of the wheels looks like that it was not fallen off, but broken off. And for anyone who happened to roll an 18 or higher,
East.
it looks like that it wasn't broken intentionally, as you can see that there are scrapes and gash marks inside of and on the wagon. There's some splintering, broken pieces, and you can tell on the ground that what's the remnants of a fight or some type of scuffle. As the ground is more mycelium than it is dirt, there are what there are like grooves and sort of like pulled back and ripped portions, and still what seems like some gashes in the ground from the mycelium itself. From how many people, you wouldn't really be able to tell from footsteps, but the claws look, or I guess the claws, but it looks like that it was made from claws. And they look deep. Maybe about 3 or so inches, 4 at the deepest. Multiple
Mm.
creatures, you could probably tell.
Oh, this is getting better and better. First we have the crazy twins, then we have this.
Well, these claws make sense.
Oh, well, I guess we keep going forward and hope something doesn't claw our faces off. Yay!
You too, weirdos. Careful.
Okay. He lights a torch and sets it on top of the cart.
I can't remember if this is the same day or not, but I tapped myself for Vigilant Blessing.
Gotcha. Continuing on to the path, it begins to lead almost to kind of a bit of a sharp-ish left. Going in between 2 almost 15-foot diameter wide mushroom stalks that just go up. Maybe at least 70, 80 feet. It seems as if that the deeper that you happen to get into this valley, though you're beginning to come at a bit of an incline, the deeper that you happen to go in, these mushrooms, the stalks slowly become wider, but their height just shoots up. Someone said that did someone say they were lighting up a torch?
I left
What
a
do you
burning
think?
torch on the cart, the wood cart with the wheel.
Ah, okay. So you're burning the cart or the
Yes.
wagon.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
As
All right.
as we leave.
Cool.
I will be right back, but I'm listening.
Sure. Do we want to just take like a little quick break for anybody, or we want to keep going?
I'm just grabbing food. I got something delivered because I've got the fucking munchies.
Hey, makes sense.
I'm fine to keep going.
Me.
I'm good.
Okay, cool. Following this path a little bit further, Lago and Tremaine, because you both have the highest passive perception, you notice a couple stalks that are different. They seem to have a different kind of coloration to them. They seem a little bit darker. They seem like wood. Instead of it being sort of like a light, a mixture of hue, instead of it what you're used to having to see with these stalks, with a mixture of like a light brown to almost a beige hue, it seems it's more of like a darker brown. Not like pine tree bark dark, but still dark. Maybe with slight hints of purple.
Okay. I just gotta walk up to it. I'd see one of them and kind of just dig my blade into the trunk and see if I like goes through, or if I like the ground it stops as it hits something.
So you take your dagger. So you take your dagger and you kind of poke into it and push a little bit, and it's a smooth surface. It looks like that it has a texture to it, but it doesn't. And as you kind of like poke it and push it a little bit, it looks like it feels like it's wood. But it has sort of like a mushroom cap over to the top of it.
Okay.
And as you're closer, since you're closer to it, the purple is a little bit more prominent to it. Roll me a nature check.
Oh, nature check. This is so good with nature checks. 11.
You've... These are very rare, or more of not the actual mushrooms themselves, but just more of the material. Only a couple high members of the court actually have items made of this material, more of furniture. It resembles Zirkwood. And from what you've been told about, Zirkwood is very prominent and known building material, very similar to wood, very wood-like in the Underdark.
Oh, that's interesting. I was gonna just poke at it a little more. This isn't supposed to be up here.
Oh.
Quentin's gonna get real close and like rub his hand along it, maybe like rub his face along it a bit too,
Marlin too.
and just like could carve a fine bowl out of this. Who knows what sort of milk it might hold? He looks
Yes.
up.
It resembles my robe, does it not? The brown and purple.
I lean in really close, like my hands against the trunk, and in deep speech, I say, "What milk do you hold?" And then I lick it.
Kind of,
I know he's saying, God damn it.
You're doing what?
I know deep speech. I know what you're saying.
You know deep speech? Everyone else is just like,
His face like,
Tremaine, probably you would be, kind of like, fucking weird shit again. And since you all kind of like move closer to these, Zirkwoods, you end up having just to kind of like look around, and it almost startles you because it's almost just sort of blends in with the surroundings, or at least the surroundings that is with you now. You see a front door in a window.
On the shroom?
No.
Oh.
A little ways off. Maybe about 40, 50 or so feet. A little closer to, a little closer to the, to the large stream. It seems like a
Is
hut.
it the only one? A hut? Okay.
Yeah. I'm kind of surprised you hadn't noticed it before. It's
Huh.
overgrown, almost cleverly, with mycelium and different kind of mushrooms and fungi. Some of them have a glow to them. Other ones not so much. Some are familiar, but a lot of them you've never seen before.
Okay, cleverly. So meaning like the hut looks like the mycelium is intentionally part of it?
It looks as if it's intentional.
Alright. I think we have a potential source of the fucking mushroom weirdness.
oh, terrific.
You
Stop
fucking
that. Stop that.
Where?
Start walking
Where is the source of the milk?
Quentin,
this
what's
way.
your armor class?
19.
Nice.
Little high.
Why?
As Tremaine ends up having to say, let's just keep walking. Fucking stop the weirdness. For a brief moment, you hear what sounds like the movement of air as you get slammed with what seems like this hard trunk that hits you in your side and almost knocks you off your balance. Let me go ahead and roll for damage.
No.
Oh, it hits. Yeah.
You're for licking a
It
trunk.
does. Oh no! Okay.
To be fair, I was the one looking at it.
You take. This was max damage. I apologize.
Oh
You take-
no!
22
okay.
points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh. I lied.
God.
My sweet milky boy.
Okay.
As the rest of you,
Just go flying
here.
behind you.
As the rest of you end up having to hear what sounds just sort of like air just moving around you, and you see what looks like almost kind of like this Zirkwood like hand or arm just slam into the side of Quentin. And I would like everybody to roll initiative.
Nice.
Mushrooms do not like being moved.
I'm rolling at advantage thanks to Vigilant Blessing.
Ooh,
And
terrible.
And
That's
I'm going to
terrible.
bring you guys over to a map.
Wow.
Ugh.
So
I got
if
a
y'all
great
would
roll.
like, do you guys have an option at the bottom to be able to place down little tokens, little character tokens?
I have. No, I've never been on this before.
Yeah, same. Oh,
Or it needs
Yeah.
some help.
I
Nope,
I
someone
did it.
left.
Yep, that was me. Hold on,
That's
I'm
okay,
back.
you're back. You're good.
I'm trying to find the token option. I'm just clicking things. Player.
Draw, measure,
You should
pointer.
cover dice.
Mm.
Oh.
I was gonna say because I was
doc.
gonna say I don't know.
I don't
There's
believe
I think it should be at the bottom. If not, I can place out. I can place out ones for you guys.
there's a little
I
like
found somewhere where I should be signing in.
yeah, same.
You
You
should
should be
probably
signing
just place
in?
it for it.
Yeah, I'll just place it for you guys.
There's like a thing at the bottom center that says sign in
Yeah.
to do something.
Oh, you got okay. Well, I mean, if you guys want to make an account, you can. It's free anyways, so it's up to you.
I'm just doing it right now.
I'm sorry. I know that.
There
I know
we go.
That with
I will
regular,
probably
you
just
don't
let
need
you
to,
place mine.
Just signing in with
see.
Google. Oh, Lord Almighty.
You can
Okay,
just
fine,
keep
I'll
going,
do it.
please.
Yeah, I got you.
Thank you.
Oh,
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't see. Oops.
Mounts,
Characters.
Uh,
Yeah, I don't got anything.
Oh. There's like an ad.
I was gonna say I don't really have anything for. There's no
there's
guardian because you're doing a.
Shield. You have anything with a shield?
Yeah, it's a paladin.
There you go. That works.
So I've
Alright,
got.
Paladin.
Let
Here.
me see here. Yeah, there you go.
I made myself one, I think. Maybe?
So that one would be for you, Mac.
Oh, hold on. I made myself one.
Oh, okay.
I can
Hey, okay,
move.
cool.
Haha.
Hey, there we go. Cool. Yeah, that works.
Oh, how
Nice.
How to do that? He's cheating. Someone get him.
Witchcraft.
Witchcraft!
Milk craft.
Just double check a couple things. So yeah, that's enough, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Okay, I'll get rid of. Sorry, I'll get rid of that one. Get rid of that one. Can you guys drag around a token, right? Because
Yes.
I see you guys' names.
Woo.
Okay, cool. So,
Woo.
all right.
Measure.
So I was gonna, yeah. So yeah, if y'all just want to like fuck around a little bit with what's here and stuff like that, as I double check my music on my.
Uh-oh. The rulers stay forever.
They
You
do.
delete them. Yeah, it's scary.
Just delete it.
Pointer.
Where is that music channel? There it is. So, damn. I'm honestly glad I chose this song because this song's very, very long. So, where was it? It was Flash.
I like the pointer. That is
Yeah. Right, the pointer's fun. I like the pointer.
Wow.
We're having a good time.
Yeah, we are.
All right. So, where the fuck my pen go? All right, so actually, hold on. Let me go and roll for these guys. Aha. Okay. Cool. Where is it? There it is. Okay. So, huh?
Matter of
Cool.
initiative.
Okay. So 25-20. Cool. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. 20 to 15. All right. Cool. 15 to 10.
11.
10!
Oh.
Wow, we're great.
I rolled a 3.
Very effective party. Hey, who wrote
10
that?
to 5.
Who wrote that?
Oh,
Who wrote
sorry, I
what?
got a 13.
What?
Sorry.
Oh, you got a 13?
Yeah.
So, all right. And then,
I've
Quentin,
got
what'd you
a
roll?
6.
You rolled a 6?
I have a 6.
Okay.
Why can none of your characters roll initiative?
So, and then I'm just gonna use that.
I think I've rolled above a 15 once so far this whole
Once.
session. So I don't know what's going on.
So these. What the fuck is my tab? Let me go ahead and.
Oh!
Oh. Ah.
Oh dear.
So these awakened Zerkwoods get a surprise round.
Oh, hooray!
So
Oh,
this
Lord.
One, so this one here that is right next to you, Quentin, has already used their round. But these other two,
Nice.
you see as so the one that had already kind of swung out towards you slams into your side, and then from behind you and to your side, you see as these other two huge Zerkwood end up having to sort of split at the center, almost with the sound of like cracking and tearing wood, as these two large legs just kind of pull themselves out of the ground and detach themselves from the mycelium that is around them. This one is going to move right up to here and is going to bring out one of its trunk-like arms to slam into Marlin because you decided to lick it.
And Marlon's dead. He's gone. Vanishes.
Wait, this is the one I licked?
Yep.
You should love
So-
me!
You need consent.
So Marlin does a 24 hit.
Well, you know, sure.
You know what? Act here.
Yeah.
So I'm actually gonna move him
Yeah.
back.
Of course it
Baseball
does.
hitting a bird.
I'm just gonna keep him where he was. So that does hit, you say?
Yeah,
Oh, that hits you,
wild,
sorry.
I know.
Who would have thought? All right, I gotta try to I'm just gonna keep this right next so it's easy for me to find it. So you take 10 points of bludgeoning damage,
Fuck.
and the last one.
Oh, did he run away after he hit me?
Oh no! So no, I was just double checking something. So from this far, he has a 10. Its arms has a 10-foot reach. So instead of it having to be the base of the trunk, it's now more kind of what looks like a weird sort of mitt that has about 3 or 4 digits, and it ends up having to go and slaps you with its mitt instead.
How dare he?
This one
I agree. How dare he?
is going to move to about right there. Because technically it actually would have been kind of something like that for it to reach you. And then this one is going to... Last one is going to bring a swing out toward Tremaine. Using its fickle mitt. For a 10 to hit.
Ha, it does not hit. Just raise my
Whips.
shield bitch.
But now it's the top of the turn order with Tremaine.
I'm
Wait.
the top with a 13.
Yeah, you are.
Oh my god.
You're above the trees.
All right. I'm going
Things are big, but
to.
they're slow.
Let me see. So this little compass thing is me, right?
Yes, yeah, that's supposed to
Okay.
be their thing for a cleric.
Okay. Oh yeah, I see now. Okay, cool. I'm going to cast Bane on all three of these
Nice.
guys. Hopefully.
So what are they gonna make?
They need a DC 16 Charisma save.
They seem pretty charismatic.
They are. So we're gonna start with the one. We're gonna start with the one that just hit you.
Tried and failed.
So it rolled. So it rolled a 10. So that one fails. We're gonna go clockwise. It rolled a. The next one rolled a 13. So that
Fail.
one fails. And the last one rolled an 8. So they all
They
fail.
all failed. And I don't think I have a bonus action, so I'm just gonna square up to this one that swung at me and
Just
say,
put little marks.
"Try now."
All right. Next
It'll go
up.
much better for you, I'm sure.
Next up is Marlin.
Oh, good. Man, these little fucks. These big fucks. Okay. Question about two-weapon fighting. Do you have to do the offhand attack? Do you have to do a main hand attack with your action? Or can you just do that?
Yeah. You have to do an attack action.
But that's without proficiency for the offhand. Unless you have like a specific feat for it that allows you to have
I see.
proficiency with it.
I see. Well, titties. I'm gonna titties.
you want to play, but I'm busy. I have a cat just sitting to my, just like kind of sitting
So
off the
he's
side,
here.
just like staring at me. She wants me to play with her.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do then
What you gonna do then?
is. Oh, wait a second. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna step here so that I'm within 10 feet of both that guy and this guy. And cast. I'll look at them both angrily. I let you! Love me! Ah! And I'll stomp a foot on the ground and disappear with a loud crack, and you'll see like a shockwave. I muted myself. A shockwave will out. So I'm casting Thunderstep. I'll need Constitution saving throws from these bottom two shrooms.
Sure. So we'll start with the one on your left.
Minus a d4.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Does that affect everything in the range or of your choice?
Ooh, good question.
Yeah, it's a good question.
It's a big thing.
Range.
Each
I
creature
think
within 10 feet of the space you left.
There we are.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
So
I didn't read that.
So we'll start with the Awakened Dirtwood. So the one to the left rolled with Bane. Rolled a 13.
Hold on.
Oh no, you're gonna take it back?
Can I take it back?
Yeah.
I don't want to be a total. I want to murder
Yeah.
two allies
You would know your.
at once. Okay.
You
so
would
I
know
was-
your spells.
Yeah. So I was here. I'll. Buddy boy. I'll run over this way instead.
Okay.
And do it here, so I just get this tree to the bottom left.
All right. Well, I was gonna say I rolled with that one. It rolled 13.
Okay, great. Failure. If I teleport like here, can I see through the trees and shit? Like, I don't know how thick all this is.
So I was gonna say, yeah. So it is a much more sort of like wide open area than the trees are there. I just kind of found it more just so I could find it. I kind of
Okay.
liked this map. So there's
Okay.
not really this many trees and foliage and such.
Then I will indeed kapoof over there. And he'll take 3d10 thunder damage. (16 plus 2, 18 points.
18 points. Gotcha. What is it? Fuck. Math.
So you stamp your foot down, and just sort of this thunderous shockwave goes out around you, and you sort of like, I guess. So what does it look like when you like disappear?
He sort of, his form kind of wobbles for a second, like almost like gelatin, and it starts to turn translucent, and as it does, it looks more like a liquid, and then it kind of goes milky white and
There
just
it
sort of
is.
splashes onto the ground.
Okay.
And then it's like a like a milk monster at first in the distance, like forms up and then
Oh my
solidifies
God.
into Marlin.
So
It
as
slides
like
along
you,
the ground.
so as like you stomp down, sort of like the shockwave begins to go out, your form starts to sort of like quickly warble and like whites out, and then drops down. You as the sort of milk sort of drops down, it then sort of pushes out the rest of the shockwave and then causes the damage, and you end up having to sort of reform back to where you'd like to be.
It's a thunderous
Anything else
milk
you'd like to
splash.
Oh, the splash
How did this
zone.
happen?
No, that's all I can do.
All right, next up, we've got
Lago.
Okay, Lago's gonna step right here, and within 15 feet of him, 15 foot cube, right?
What is?
These two trees. There, that's right. My pointer, my little pointer guy.
All three of them should.
Yeah.
be
So
within
so
15.
if you right click, you can point. Do pointer.
Yeah. These two guys here. That's 15 feet of me, right? 15-foot cube.
It's a hey.
Oh, a cube.
The trees.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No, you're
Some
good.
cube.
Yeah.
I just realized. I can't
I'd
right
say,
click
yeah.
mouse
Yep,
pad
that would
very
be
well.
within.
Well, Lago's gonna hop over there and he's gonna take his loot and it just goes foam as he casts Thunder Wave.
Oh shit! So
You have to make a Constitution saving throw, DC 16, with Bane.
Yeah. Minus a d4.
not even rolling the minus d4, that fails. Ooh, I'm rolling. Let's see. That is a 16.
16 does succeed, so one succeed,
Sure.
one fail.
Yeah. I rolled d4. It was a -4, and they still got a 16.
Okie dokie. Well, first off, ooh, that's not terrible. 16 points of force damage. So the one that succeeds takes half. The other one takes 16 and is pushed away 10 feet from me.
Is there a size limit to that? I'm just asking because these are huge monsters or creatures.
Creature say, nope, says nothing about size.
All right, so we'll do 10 feet away that way. Okay.
All right, that was my action. And do I have anything for bonus action I want to do? Oh, you know what? Let's see, I moved here. It's 5, 10, 15, and bonus action. I should save this, but I don't care. It's a one shot. Bonus action, Rabbit Hop. I can jump 15 feet as bonus action. So I'm jumping basically up and around. So I'm right here.
Okay.
To give Tremaine opportunity for a advantage. So all right, I go hop down and as I end my turn.
All right, next up is Quentin.
All right. I'm gonna be doing a bunch of weird shit because I'm playing that homebrew class I made. So everybody, hold on.
Cool.
Yep.
Weird it up.
If you would like to know what's happening, I'll keep pinging it in Roll20, but you guys don't have to pay attention to that. Anyway, I'm gonna come over here, and he'll probably say something like, "Those who still have milk left to offer the prophet, stand behind me. I will keep your milk safe." And he's gonna use. Well, first off, he's gonna be doing inner fire, so essentially attacks have advantage against me this turn, but I get to reduce some damage. And then second, stand behind me, which means if you're within 5 feet of me, you take reduced damage, and that's gonna hit all of you this turn.
Nice.
And that is my action. So yeah,
That's
within
it.
5 feet, you are protected.
Cool. Now we are on to the Awakened Zerkwoods. So the Tremaine left, so I guess we'll go to the one to the north. So the one to the north wasn't really
I'm
happy
here.
that it ended
I'm
up.
still listening.
Oh, hi.
Even if I walk
Okay,
away,
yeah.
I can still hear.
Yeah, you're good.
It's
more
time
of,
to give me a milkshake.
Yeah, you're good. Ooh, milkshake, nice. So then I guess we'll go ahead and start with you, the one to the south. You are going to take a slam. Boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Slam.
Where the fuck is this with egg ball? God damn. I gotta use this die more. So that's going to be a 25 to hit.
Yeah.
I will use a fighting style to reduce this by 1d10 plus proficiency.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Interception. So that is reduced by 12, whatever this damage is.
Nice.
Fucking math. God damn it. Adding an extra math. Damn
Fucking
you, Gordon.
math.
Oh, was that attack roll minus a d4? No, it doesn't matter. It would still hit me. Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck. So after the die reduction, that would be 3 points of bludgeoning damage.
Alright, and then on top of that, it's halved, and I take the other half.
Oh, nice.
So
I
you
take
both
2, you
would-
take 1?
You take 1.
Yeah.
Oh.
Or,
Okay.
yes, yeah.
What is it? The one that you are now next to is going to take a swing out toward you, Quentin. Ooh, okay, hold on. Minus, So that
It
would
has
be a
advantage.
16 to hit.
It
Oh,
has advantage. Because I did inner fire, so.
it has a 16 to hit?
Still 16?
Yeah.
It misses.
Alright. And this last one is gonna move there and is gonna take a swing out toward. Yeah, it's gonna take a swing out toward you again, Quentin.
Alright, advantage.
Ooh, I'll take that
Minus
one.
d4.
Ooh. That's a 24 to hit.
Ooh.
That hits.
That's 14 points of bludgeoning damage.
Reduced by a little bit because of inner fire.
You get slammed.
Reduced by 6. Cool.
And that's their turn. It's back to Tremaine.
Ow.
You are now, what was it? You and Quentin are now basically surrounded by these three huge, seem living Zerkwood.
Okay. Let me see. Alright, so I'm guessing if I were to move here, then that would open me up for an opportunity attack from this one, right?
You don't know that.
I can make an educated guess. Okay, I'm gonna move here.
Okay. You are
Bonus
still.
action.
You will be taking the opportunity attack from the one to the left since you moved out of range.
So they have a 10-foot range. Okay.
So that I'm not even gonna roll for that. That misses.
Okay, cool. And bonus action, I'm going to cast Spiritual Weapon.
Oh, okay.
And I believe
So
I
we'll
get to attack with it.
yeah. So we'll
When I-
just say your spiritual weapon is this dagger.
Sure.
So I guess you go ahead and move it around and place it wherever you want.
Okay.
Great.
I will place it here. I can't. Can I flank with my spiritual?
It's not a creature.
No,
Okay.
it's gonna be
Unfortunately.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's worth
poison.
asking.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, so I'm gonna attack with the spiritual weapon, and that's a melee spell attack. Okay, so nice 26.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay. So a D8 plus 5. Okay. Okay, so that is 9 points of damage from the spiritual weapon.
What kind of
Then-
damage?
Force damage.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then with my action, I am going to swing my warhammer at it.
The same one, I'm assuming.
This is my warhammer, not my spiritual weapon.
Well, yeah. So yeah.
Oh
I guess
yeah,
it's
sorry,
like-
the same monster. Yeah. I understand now. Okay. And that's a natural one. Okay.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
You end up having to go to swing, and you make contact, and you just whack into it, and it just sort of creaks. It's interesting now that like you're more like up close, and they're actually like moving. There's very slight indentations of what would look to be kind of like eyes, and the indentation is just sort of like this cap just sort of like shifts its way down and looks down towards you.
Fucking disturbing. Okay. That's my turn.
Next up is Marlin.
Which one of these three has taken more hits so far?
You don't know. It kind of whooshed and went away and was just like, ha, and then looked back over and saw some shit going down.
Great.
I think
Well, yeah, I'll take this one. Try to help my Milky Boy.
What you attacking with?
I'm first off gonna do. I'm gonna hex him.
Hicks!
Hex. Cast. Cool. Third level, so I can, as long as I maintain concentration, can hold the spell for up to 8 hours.
Is there a save for Hex, or does it just go?
Just goes. Until the spell
Like
ends, I deal an
Hunter's Mark.
extra. Huh?
it's like Hunter's Mark.
Yeah. Until the spell ends, I deal an extra 1d6 necrotic damage to the target whenever I hit it with an attack. Also, choose one ability when you cast a spell. The target has a disadvantage on ability checks made with the chosen ability. We're gonna go with strength because they're big. So disadvantage on any strength checks they make.
Does that include attacks?
No,
No.
an attack is
Okay,
an ability
ability
attack. It'd be like if they tried to grapple or something. That would be a strength check.
Ah, okay. Cool.
Okay. So he hexed. And then I'm gonna Eldritch Blast.
Aaron Bryan! Same one?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Balks. Math. 14.
That just hits.
Hey. Woo. Alright,
I just rolled a con check for Bane. I got a nat 20, so
Hey!
yeah.
He takes 9 plus 4, 13 points of what is Eldritch Blast? Force damage? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
13 points force damage. Second blast. 14 again.
Yeah, it's.
And for that one, nasty, horrible. That one he only takes 10 points of force damage.
All right. That one's looking fucked up.
And I'm just gonna move. Just a little more. That's me.
Cool. Next up is Lago.
Gordon, you're dark.
I'm still
You're
here.
muted. Lago, you're muted.
Hive alive.
There we
Hello.
go.
Alright.
Hi.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm going to pull up my daggers and do an attack.
Go ahead.
Ooh, that's a 26 to hit.
That certainly hits.
All right, and I'm burning a bardic inspiration for psychic blades, and it's sneak attack damage because I'm flanking. So, ooh, oh, that's gonna hurt. Okay, it's 4, 8, 14, 19 points of damage.
What kind
And
of
I-
damage is this?
It is 8 points of piercing damage and 11 points of psychic damage. As
Sick.
two blades, like purple blades, kind of appear around it, and go spook into its little mushroomy head.
She said 8 and then 11, right?
Correct. Alright. Second, let's see, bonus action. Let's do another attack. Why not? Alright. This is 23 to hit.
That hits.
For another 3 points of piercing damage. Is that jam it? And then take the other blade, jam it, and I'll chill right there for now. That's the end of my turn.
All right. Are we having rolling up or rolling down?
What?
Are we having up
What?
or having down?
It's always round down, unless
Always
otherwise
round
stated.
down. Okay, cool. Just making sure, because as you go, as you go into stabbing this thing, the first one is a stab, and it's just some. You imbue it with some extra energy and kind of stick it in, and it sort of feels like it kind of like gets stuck. It doesn't go in as far as it should, and you pull it out. And you do the second one, it seems like you only just kind of like give it like a little bit of the stick. Doesn't seem like, at least, especially the second attack, doesn't seem like it did as much damage as you think it did.
Oh, great.
Is there anything you wanted
So, besides looking at my blades, I go, oh, fuck. That's the end of my turn.
Next up is Quentin.
Pretty much the same thing as last turn. Everyone's just understand behind me. So if you're near me, you take less damage. I take some of it for you. But I get more reactions back.
No advantage against you this time.
Yes, advantage against me. Pretty much always.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Alright, that's it. Good to go.
That's it? No attack on nothing?
Nope.
Alright. You, Quentin, are actually going to take 3 attacks.
Oh no.
Oh,
Ooh.
incredible. I love it.
Does a 16 hit?
It does not. Remember, these have advantage.
Oh.
Yep.
And a minus D4.
Ooh. Shouldn't tell me about advantage.
I know.
So it's, so the first attack's actually a 23 to hit.
Oh.
Okay, that hits.
Okay. That's 17 points of bludgeoning damage.
Reduced by the inner fire die, which is a 2 this time, so it's only 15.
Alright. Next attack. I'm not even going to roll, that misses. So the third attack.
Mm-hmm.
And a 16 doesn't hit, right?
Misses, yep.
That misses as well.
All right, that's the end of their turn. Next up
Power
is
shield up.
Tremaine.
Okay. So, same one as before. Bonus action, a spiritual weapon. That is another natural 1.
Oof.
Spiritual weapon. And for my
I'm just
action,
checking. I'm sorry. What is the weapon? The spiritual weapon is. What kind of weapon is it?
it's another Warhammer. So I've got my Warhammer, and then it's just like a bigger version of my Warhammer.
Gotcha. So it just second time it just kind of like whacks itself into like the side, not even phased.
Okay. And then the physical Warhammer. Nice. 24.
That hits. Go and roll for damage.
Okay. And D. 9 points of damage. And
Gotcha. So as you slam your warhammer into this for the second time, you end up having to whack into it. It almost feels like that, like you hit it, it does damage, but also kind of bounces off as well. Doesn't seem like you did as much damage as you think you did.
Okay. Yeah, and then I just shift to the side and I shift my spiritual weapon around a bit, and that is.
Gotcha. Next up is Marlin.
Okay.
Doing all the way over there, Milky Boy.
Yeah.
Milk again.
I'm doing the blasting again. Same guy. Same big hex
Gotcha, go ahead.
boy. That was a roller coaster of a roll. 17.
That hits.
For 11 plus 4. 15 points of force damage. Second
Gotcha.
blast.
How do you want to explain you take this one out?
Oh! How big is this mushroom man?
He's he's huge. So he's probably he's about maybe like 15 to 17 feet tall.
I'll say, I thought you were sent by the one. I thought you were to share the milk. Show me your milk. And I'll send an Eldritch Blast. And it'll just like blast out his trunk. So he kind of just buckles and tips in half.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's exactly
milk
what happens.
starts pouring out of its wound.
And ends up having to slam into its side,
You
almost at the same spot that you hit it last time, and it ends up having to splinter out one of its sides. And it kind of tries to keep its balance, and it just you hear sort of like a creaking and a snapping, but also a tearing at the same time. You expect it to be wood, but it's more of like a fibrous tearing. That it just kind of like folds in on itself and falls off to the side.
So, just not to give him more power, but the milky caps, mushrooms, and the genera Lactarius and Lactifulus, marking up a large group of mycorrhizal mushrooms that exude a latex or milk when injured.
Indeed. That is correct.
awesome.
Great intro to have.
he
Blasts
starts
to the
dancing
side
with
and
joy.
like bursts out. You see just sort of this like white milkiness just sort of like blasts out.
It's a sign. It's the milk. He's just dancing and tapping his little feet.
Quentin just opens his hands and lets it fall on him.
Oh, I
all the way
hate
over
this
there.
so much.
Right.
I'll bonus action move my hex to this guy.
Okay.
Since first big homie drops. And then my second attack, I had already rolled. Can I keep it? Or should I roll again?
Roll again because it's a different creature.
Okay. Ugh. Bad. 10.
That misses.
Yeah. Darn it. Had a 19 before. Alright, that's me.
Cool. Next up is Lago.
Okie dokie.
Can use
What,
my reaction to dash towards my milky man.
Does that invoke opportunity attacks?
Yes, but I won't leave any ranges, I don't think. I just Well, I can move up to 15 feet, so I'm gonna stop right there.
Okay.
Okay. Just to be clear, on the spell, it does not indicate that the spot has to be unoccupied. So, I pull out a piece of glass and like, oh, you are cut above the rest, and I just throw it basically at the base of the mushroom as I cast second level Cloud of Daggers as a 5 foot a 5 foot cube on each side appears, and basically on the start of its turn, as long as it starts its turns there, it takes 4d4 slashing damage. Next up, actually, you know what? I'm going to bonus action Rabbit Hop, another 15 feet away. And what makes this ability so cool is that it does not provoke opportunity attacks. So I'm going right there. So I have bunny backflip out of the way, and now there's a spinning cloud of daggers, just kind of all up in its business. And that's the end of my turn.
And then I'll just put that like right there, just so we know. All right, next up is Quentin.
All right, I will probably just be dodging, to be honest. Not doing too great after that last round. For the 28 damage I took up front. Yeah, just dodge this round, and I'm not going to use Inner Fire, so no advantage. For
Gotcha.
you.
All right, next up are
I'll actually dodge and step out of their ranges.
Okay, so they both are going to take opportunity attacks against you. That's that one.
Disadvantage. Dodge.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Whack. That misses. Okay. Does a 17 hit?
No.
Yep, so they both miss. Just, you end up having to run out and just whoosh, whoosh.
Hold up the shield as a backup.
So now,
Skimmed right
It is-
past you.
so now it is their turn. I'm actually
Stop
just gonna get rid of that one because that one's just dead.
Had a 2% gap.
So this one's
That one-
actually gonna move. Yeah,
And it's
so,
chance
yeah.
yourself.
Let me go ahead and.
4d4.
Yep.
You might do better with a little vitamin D.
Do you want me to roll? Do you want me to roll the d4? Or do you want to roll d4?
Yes. You can roll a d4. And what kind of damage is this?
Slashing
Oh,
damage.
milk.
Gotcha.
Magical slashing damage. And that is 6, 8, 9 points of slashing damage as it just
Calcium.
blunders up in this thing.
Gotcha. got like little sprays of like mushroom milkiness just starting to go everywhere.
Yeah.
Hate it. I hate it.
So you said
Marlon's
that you-
just like,
so you had to put it in the center of it, correct?
Correct.
Sarah brought out the Snuggie. Amazing. Let's
I
go.
love this thing.
Oh shit! I can make
Best
that
thing
bigger.
ever bought.
Oh shit! I can make that bigger. Cool. Oh, but
Whoa.
it doesn't sit with it.
Hex
Really
as fuck.
I was gonna say I'm trying to figure out how this works. It's able to bring the other one. So what if I put it on there like that one? It's able to take that one. Why doesn't it take the other one? Oh, I know why. No.
No.
Well,
No.
that didn't work.
What are you trying to do?
Trying to get it
Oh,
to
there we
attach.
go. There we go. Okay, I got it. So, and then that one I'm going to unattach because that's supposed to be there. So it's actually going to go. Boom.
Still within 5 feet.
Oh, well, wait. So is it a 5 foot cube, or you choose a point and it's within 5 feet?
It's a 5 foot cube. It's a cube with 5 feet on each side, centered on a point you choose. So because it's so damn large, it's still within the attack damage.
So, oh, wait. So it's a cube, but then it also reaches out 5 feet either side.
Is it a
Correct.
5?
It says that you fill the air with spinning daggers in a cube of 5 feet on each side, centered on a point you choose within a range.
I
A
hate
creature
to.
takes 40.
Yeah, I hate to break it to you, man. That's like 1 square.
Oh, no.
Square,
Like,
Yeah,
it's 5 feet.
so it would just be within
Oh no,
that
it
one
says
side.
it's on 5 feet. Okay, well that's fine then. So yeah, I just wind up dropping it then.
Okay. But yeah, so it'll move out of that and just hang out right there. And first attack from the north one is going to go against Quentin.
I'm still dodged, so still disadvantage.
I'm not even rolling for that. That misses. And
Yes.
the other one is going to go against Tremaine.
Just barely holding on.
They couldn't touch your strong bones.
Yeah, it hits me, but it cracks against my bone.
Haha.
Milk I drink.
Yes.
I hate it.
Tremaine, that's a 21 to hit.
Yeah, that was minus Bane.
Yes, that was a minus bane.
Okay, yeah, that hits.
That's 20 points of bludgeoning damage towards you.
Oh, 20 points. Okay.
3d6 plus extra damage. Okay. That's going to be the end of their turn. Tremaine, you go ahead.
Son of a bitch. First, I'm going to bonus action attack with spiritual weapon. That was another natural one.
Oh my, that's
Oh my god.
Spiritual
Whoa.
weapon. Not,
3 different dice, all different dice.
you know what the
Every
problem
single
is?
one of
It's spiritual, but there's nothing. You've got nothing there about that.
Embrace the milk. It will help.
Apparently. I mean, Crazy Milkman killed one, so.
Change your mason to a milk jug.
This thing made me angry. So for my action, I'm
Just both you just know.
gonna cast inflict wounds
Yeah.
at what level? At 2nd level. So this is gonna be ooh, 26, which I'm guessing
Ooh.
hits.
I
yes, it
hope
does.
so.
So that's 4d10.
Whoever's typing taint and pain and penis and anus, fucking stop. I wish I could see who
What?
made it.
In the world.
Definitely.
Think.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Stop that. Okay, milk can stay. There's a reason for milk.
The milkman.
The milkman strikes again.
I don't want to.
Okay.
Why is this
22
spinning around?
points of necrotic damage.
How many?
22.
22. Wait, and that
Yes!
was the southern one, right?
Yes, turn his milk sour.
Gotcha. This one is
Oh,
looking
yes.
rough.
Yes.
Okay. And I will stay. Well, shift right here. My turn.
All right, next up is Marlon.
Beautiful. Shooting at the same dude who's next. Time to cuddle your insides. 27 to hit.
That hits.
Ah. Ooh.
Yeah.
19 points of force damage.
Fuck. Cool.
Second blast. 14 to hit.
That hits.
Whew. Come on, man. Ooh.
No.
12 plus 4, 16 points of force damage.
Oof.
Gotcha.
And that's my turn.
All right. Next up, we've got Lago.
Okay, keeping that keeping those daggers up because this might be fun. I'm gonna use my movement to get here, and I am going to cast Dissonant Whispers. It has to make a Wisdom saving throw. As I go,
That sadly didn't come through, but I knew what you meant. That was an 11.
Marlin hears whispers
skills.
but can't make it out. He shouts over to Quentin, "Is he talking about milk?
I can only
Oh.
assume.
He
All
has
right.
submitted to our god!"
So this is the one you're next to, correct?
yes.
Okay.
So, part 1, he takes 3d6 psychic damage, which is 14 points of psychic damage.
How do you want to explain this thing getting whispered to death?
Oh, this is fun. Because this is what I wanted him to do. Basically, as I whisper, it loses control. It has to use its reaction to run away from me, and it runs right into a cloud of daggers. It just blenders it.
Yeah. It ends up having to like run through. So like its trunk thickness at about like the center is about maybe like 8-9 feet. It just runs right through, and it blends through one of its legs, and it crashes down. Its cap just sort of snaps as it hits the ground, unmoving.
Fantastic.
Very
It's
nice.
Just,
And
and
milk
just like
starts
milk,
spewing out.
milk sprays everywhere as it walks through.
Kill Bill style.
Bonus action, I look to Tremaine. It's like, just fucking finish this thing. And I give you a bardic inspiration. That's a d6.
Nice. Thank you.
That is the end of my turn.
All right, next up is Quentin.
It's kind of just good over here, to be honest.
Quentin says, "Ow."
Quentin's not looking too hot. Sure. He will use his action to taunt this thing. I'm going to need a wisdom saving throw from it.
That's a 9.
It fails. So it basically has disadvantage on everyone but me, as he says, "You make a bad name for those with milk in their blood," and he'll kind of just move away.
Cool. Gotcha.
Oh, and it also takes a little bit of psychic damage. I forgot we were higher level.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 psychic damage.
Nice.
2. Nice.
Done for.
It's on the ropes.
No, I'm just kidding. So right as this, it is now its turn. It ends up having what is it? It has to get like taunted by you, and it just kind of like sees you and like runs away, and instead it changes its focus onto Tremaine, and as it starts to raise up one of its arms, you all end up having to hear, coming from sort of like this direction, a voice, a young voice, yell out. Well, does anyone know Infernal?
I do, yeah.
You
Not
do.
currently.
So, Tremaine, you end up having to hear yelled out from a young voice in Infernal, "Stop! Stop!" And you see come walking out from, from a sort of like, you see walking out from this sort of like mass of mushrooms, and more of a walk through this little young tiefling boy. And the awakened Zerkwood stops mid-swing and just sort of stands straight up, and it puts its legs together and roots itself back into the ground.
You
Little young
responsible
tiefling
for
boy.
this?
No, this. They weren't supposed to attack you. I don't know. Did you do something to provoke them? And
Is he still
as he's,
is he still
and
speaking in Infernal? By the
no,
way?
at this point, no. At this point, now he's speaking common.
Okay.
And what is it? And he starts to sort of like rush forward. Oh, he got big. As he starts,
Oh,
as
he
he
got
starts-
big.
Oh, he got big. As he starts to rush forward, he rushes forward toward like the Zerkwood, just kind of sort of like tapping it and just sort of like feeling it up or whatever. And at a closer look toward him, he's maybe about. I'm sorry.
Nothing.
He's maybe about 7 or 8 years old. This brownish red colored skinned tiefling. He has on his forehead these 2 little sort of like bumps or protrusions that happens to come out with sort of like this with this brightish red orange what looks like curly hair, but it doesn't look quite right. From one of the bumps, you can see that there's this sort of like little tiny mushroom cap that looks like that's growing out of it. He's wearing a oversized cloak that's kind of like dragging along the ground. That looks like it has like a mixture of like mud and mold that's kind of like growing up to the sides of it. And he's wearing a set of armor that is obviously piecemeal. Some pieces look a little too snug, other pieces look just a little too big. And he has what looks to be some type of like large book strapped to his back. And he comes, what is it? And he comes like running up. He comes running up with what looks like a walking stick and just kind of like drops it on the ground. He starts sort of like rubbing his hands against it, up against sort of like the gashes and the pounds, and just sort of like feeling and puts his ear up like against it. And just keeps like rubbing it. Did you like? What did you do? What did you provoke them? They're not supposed to do that.
That one licked it over there. That little one over there.
Oh yeah, the weird one.
Who licks a mushroom?
I gave it my
Question.
love.
Okay. That's a weird kind of love, man. I don't know where you're
Consent's
from. But
important, dude. You can't just go licking people without your consent.
It was a milk shroom.
it's okay. It's fine.
It didn't appreciate your
Um,
attention.
It what is it? This young boy ends up having to whisper in Infernal that Tourmaline. Tourmaline. My God, I'm fucking doing it. Tremaine. You're the only one that's able to hear. You end up having to hear him say Infernal. Just go by the water, hang out there for a little while. You should be okay. And it ends up having to then ends up unrooting itself again, and it begins to walk. It begins to walk toward the hut, and then just kind of around it, and disappears behind.
That's a nifty trick.
I wouldn't really call it a trick, and he kind of like rubs his hand through his hair. What? Wait, what are you all doing here? No one's supposed to be here. Why are you here?
I genuinely have no idea. I just showed up.
We're investigating a town where people kind of disappeared. They haven't really heard word from.
Oh, I guess that was going to happen eventually. But okay. Well,
Why, you know something?
how about you guys come inside?
Sure.
Okay, and I cast comprehend languages on myself, so in case he starts muttering in Infernal, I'll understand what he's saying.
Can I get an
Sure.
insight on this dude's intentions? Does he seem like a genuinely nice dude, or does this feel trappy?
Sure, go ahead and roll an insight check.
Your insight must be great.
19.
Ooh.
19. 1 second. Just
setting something up real quick. Where is it? Nope, that didn't come up, which means I have to put something more specific. Sorry, I'm just trying to set up the next drag. Oh, if we're on roll 20, this would be a lot easier because it'll all be. I'm saying that because I feel like that low-key term would be jokingly saying that.
What happened to the turn, by the way? I thought he was going to play tonight.
He didn't really give me any answer. Moreover, like I guess like he might be playing. And then when I asked him about it earlier, of like, hey, like how's like the Karen coming along, and like are you gonna be playing with us or whatever, he just didn't. There was no response, so I'm assuming that it was more of just like if he was free type of thing.
Gotcha.
Not. So, sorry. So you rolled an insight of 19. He seems like. At first, he seemed genuinely concerned for the Zerkwood, and then afterwards, he seems a little nervous and tired. But it doesn't seem like it's in the way of his intention. His emotions seem genuine, and his intentions seem genuine. It doesn't seem like he's trying to like set you guys up for anything.
I don't get any malicious undertones.
Nope.
Okay.
That's all you.
Okay.
So he ends up having to walk. He ends up having to walk up to the hut, and he enters. Do you all follow?
Sure.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, shit again, just so I can do this. Took so long. Makes sense.
Just bleeding out. It's no big deal.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can I'll cast.
Oh yeah.
No, it's
Cure
milk that's coming out.
Um,
No! Save his milk! Trying to scoop it back into you.
cure wounds on
I'll go
you
start drinking
and
some of the mushroom milk to replenish it.
at first.
God.
Um,
Was as you all start to like enter and file in, you enter into this strange abode.
you get 13 hit points back.
It seems like it's almost like a mixture of like an alchemy lab and like sort of like a brewer's station. There's just a bunch of there's like there's I don't think of the best way to describe this. It kind of looks like a little bit, I don't want to say mad scientist, but there's just a bunch of different types of glass bottles and containers that have these different sort of like pipes and tubes that go off into each other with these like, looks like these little sort of like cups or pockets that has like burnt ash or charcoal in them. All hanging up along the ceiling. There's a mixture of both cages and different kinds of either spices and plant life and mushrooms, molds and fungi and bundles. The cages look as if that they would hold animals, but they're empty. All along the walls, there's just these different types of like lichen and mold, but that seem like that they're sort of kept or maintained in like their own sort of like areas, almost like in either perfect squares or circles with spaces in between them. There is in the far back left corner, there is what looks to be a sort of like large twin bed. And then on the other side of the room, there's like a smaller twin bed, with which the larger bed looks like that it's made, but hasn't been touched. There's like that has not been touched. If anything, it actually has its own sort of mold and like small
mushrooms growing out of it, but the smaller bed looks like it's unmade, unkept, just a mess. The pillows on the ground, the sheets are everywhere. It looks like that there are these sort of like little, I guess, figures that have their own like little like mushroom caps, but also have sort of like these like little like arms and legs attachments to them, with what you can imagine being like little like sticks for like swords or spears, and like maybe like a couple like little shields and stuff like that. I guess sort of like mushroom army men or whatever. And there's a couple shelves that sit next to the door off to your right that have a bunch of like bottles and containers of either like liquids or solvents or some type of like material, all organic, but you just, some of them you really can't recognize. Other ones are just like, some of them look like milk, other ones look clear but just different colors. Like it looks like just a mess. And you would think that it would smell like the very strong and pungent mildew and mold scent, but instead it's more of a sort of comforting and calm sort of like floral aroma or aura about it. The young boy ends up having to like walk over and just sort of like sits and sort of like picks up his pillow off the ground and puts it down in his bed, and he just sort of kind of like sits down and kind of like bounces a little bit. As you all end up having like walk in, he kind of like watches you all come in and oh wait, okay, hold on. So all right, I gotta remember. And he kind of sort of like walks past you all and sort of pushes and goes over like the shelf and picks up like one thing and like looks at it and kind of like shakes it and is like, no, that's not it, and puts it back and kind of like grabs and and he's kind of like searching for something. And he picks up this one small like wooden box, and he brings it over to the table that's over at the other side of the room, which kind of at like the workstation with this sort of like weird alchemy brewers set up and stuff, and sort of like pushes some stuff over to the side and puts down the box and opens it. I know that my mom ended up having to use these for a couple people that was over in town. Hopefully this can help you. I'm pretty sure this stuff doesn't go bad. And he pulls out what looks to be sort of these like small little bundles. It looks like that it's a sort of like a type of like fabric that is sort of like wrapped around something that is tied together with like a twine. And he hands each of you one of them. And if you happen to open it up, it's a fabric, but it looks like it's made out of both cloth and mycelium. And when you unwrap it and open it, there's like this like little vial of this like clear liquid. So I know that like what Mom would do was that like she would like open it and then like pour like the liquid on the thing, and then she would like kind of like rub it into like a wound and place it or whatever, and it like helped people, kind of like healed them or did something to them. But like, it was a good thing. It's a good thing, I promise. It's okay. It kind of like scratches his head, and you can see that there's these like, there's almost like this like light powder that happens to come off of his head as he sort of like scratches it. Did you guys want like anything to drink or anything to eat? Or...
Two questions. One.
Okay.
I hold up the clear liquid he just gave us. Do we use it now?
I mean, if you're hurt, I would say so, yeah.
Just
I mean, you don't have to rub. Okay, all right, that's cool.
What's it do? What happens?
So, was it? So when you open up the vial and you pour it out, on like the cloth, it has this very strong, pungent smell to it. And as you end up having like immediately sort of like rub it on your face. There's first sort of just this like. There's this first like immediate like burning sensation, and it immediately just becomes warm. Roll 2d6 for me. And add 4 to it.
11.
You heal 11 hit points.
Any other effects?
Nope.
2!
So each of you have just been given mycological salves.
Ooh.
You can call them mushroom salves if you want, or fungus salves, whatever you like.
I tip-tap tippity-toe over towards the vials that look like they might have milk.
Oh, so those
May
I mean, you could. I know that my mom used them for like testing things out and stuff. They're from like different types of like mushrooms. As far as I know.
Where's your mom?
Oh, I think you have important questions. I know you want to explain this entire world in terms of these experiments, but do you have any idea about what's happened to the town? You seemed like you did.
Kind of scratches his head again.
They sniff
Yeah.
the milk.
You sniff it. It smells sour, but it also has a slight sort of floral aroma to it.
I drink it.
Oh, good lord.
Okay. Roll me
Oh no.
a Constitution saving throw.
What vintage is this?
11.
Okay.
That is a fail.
You start to see, after just a few seconds, you start to see sort of a slight fading of colors as stuff just begins to become sort of almost like watercolor washed. And then the colors start to have layers to them in a way. You've become poisoned and blinded for the next minute.
Nice.
You weren't. Well, I guess at least now I know what that does. He's gonna be
Honestly,
like
I'm not
that
sure
just-
if it's because of what he drank or if that's just
Oh, so he's a little weird too. All right. Well, I guess
Yeah.
that's kind of nice.
That's a bit of an accomplishment, yes.
He seems a little weird.
Yeah. He's
But-
not my favorite.
No, I will admit that is a bit strange.
What is it? You see him. You see him scratch his head. On was it for like one of the lumps that he has, and he scratches it, and he's like, "Oh, well, why didn't you tell me that was there?" And he just kind of like snaps off like the little fungus and just sort of tosses it to the side.
I didn't think that was abnormal given where we are.
Yeah, it's not supposed to. I don't like them. They're like really itchy, and if I let them grow for too long, it kind of hurts. So I just try to like get rid of them if I can. I mean, these already kind of hurt in general, but
Just as a quick side note, I'm gonna lay down and be like tripping out and start trying to maybe get a short rest.
okay, sure.
I cast minor illusion above his head of just a bowl of milk.
Now, for some reason, on top of you, you just see this almost clear image at first of just this bowl of milk, and though for everyone else, it's still just sort of a corporeal bowl of milk. For what you see, Marlin, the bowl tips, and you just see white just start to come down and sort of like pour over top of you, and then just colors begin to mix again. So,
Dripping balls.
I really don't like trying to think about it. And he keeps just kind of like scratching his head and sort of like rubbing his hands. And he sits back down on his bed and just kind of like looks down. Well, so my mom she really liked plants and like the forest and stuff. Like more specifically like the mushrooms and that type of thing. And she had been here, I think, since sort of like the settlement or whatever, the town kind of came here as well. More of just to sort of like find out like what the forest had and that type of stuff and what new things. And she'd been here for a little while. And then at some point I just kind of showed up. I'm not really sure how. But I know it was, it was just from mom anyways. And every so often she would have like people from the town like come over and they'd be feeling like really bad. Either like they'd be like hurt or they'd be like coughing. And she would like help them out. And then eventually they would, end up having to be better, and then she would kind of, it just kind of go back to town. Until one day there was like a lot of really sick people, like more of the people that like that went in like the cave that was in town, or the mine. Yeah, that's the word, the mine. And a lot of people were thinking that like it had something to do with my mom, because they were saying something about like mushrooms and stuff in there too. And so they assumed that like she had something to do with it. So they kind of asked her about it, and she wasn't really sure. So she went to go check it out, and it didn't seem like there was a problem. But when she tried to help them and stuff, nothing was happening and nothing was helping. And then the people that would come here, they wouldn't really walk out anymore. And they started blaming her and thought she was like doing like weird stuff. Because she could do like magic stuff or whatever and like help things grow, and she could like, like move the ground and that type of stuff. And she actually made our house. And then one day, a bunch of them ended up having to come over to like the house, like yelling and making like a big ruckus and stuff. And she told me just to like stay inside the house and stay under the bed. But after a little while, I kind of like left and went to find out what happened anyways. And all I saw was like smoke coming up from the town. And then there was like a bunch of like yelling. And then the yelling eventually just kind of like stopped. And then I started feeling like really like fuzzy and like itchy. And like my hair kind of started to like come out, and then this started to come up, and he kind of like rubs his head. And I started to hurt a lot.
What do you mean you started to hurt a lot?
Like,
What hurts?
a lot. Like, my head and, like, my arms and my legs. Like, just kind of, like, everywhere. But, like, mainly, like, my head.
Is that what was happening to the villagers?
I mean, I guess so. I mean, there's not really anybody there anymore. Kinda. But then I heard my mom, like, talk to me. And she said she could, like, help me if I made, like, a promise or if I could do something for her later. So, I mean, like, she's my mom, of course I'm gonna, I wanna. And then she had told me, she told me about her book. And then he ends up having to, like, he does, like, a couple straps that he has on his body. And the book on his back falls off. And he grabs his book and he picks up his book. And this book is about the size of his torso. Like, this is like a tome, almost. And he kind of, like, picks it up and he puts it on his lap. This is where, like, my mom kept, like, a lot of her notes and stuff like that. It didn't look like this before. It looked like a regular book. And with a closer look of the book looks like itself is covered over in just different types of molds and lichen. And in the center of the book, there's this odd sort of symbol that kind of looks like that's engraved onto it. It looks like a mushroom cap that has these sort of like tendrils that kind of like grow out or sort of like peek out from the bottom of it, and sort of some curve and other ones are more sort of like jagged. And the jagged ones are the ones that are more kind of like closer toward like the bottom. I can kind of read some of this stuff, but I can't really read everything. Mom said that she was going to show me more stuff. Like, I guess when I got like older or more experience and stuff. So, yeah.
Can I take a look at that book real quick?
I mean, okay, sure. Here you go. You just kind of hand the book, and you end up having to take the book. And similar with kind of like the hut, there's this sort of like floral aroma to it, but there's a slight sourness to the smell as well.
Okay. Well, I have comprehend languages up, so I can actually read written languages.
Okay. So there's no writing, at least anywhere on the outside of the book. Do you open it?
Yep.
Okay. So you open up the cover, and on the first page, it says, "Owned by," and this is written in Infernal. It says, "Owned by Amnesia. If found, burn." And as you begin to flip through the pages, at first it just seems like that there's diagrams of just different types of drawings and writings of some different kinds of more common mushrooms. And then there's some different sort of sparse notes in between, just having to talk about some of the areas that are grown, some of their properties, what it can be used for. And then it starts to sort of shift and morph into more of like written notes and diagrams of mushrooms, to then what looks like more of like ritual circles. It looks like that these are more like spell ritual circles. You don't have much experience in the ways of, like, I guess having to do like ritualistic magic overall, but you at least recognize these just to be like, for these just to be rituals. And the further that you flip through the book, the more jumbled everything becomes, and the harder to understand. And you're a little confused because it's supposed to, and it's supposed to make sense. You have the spell for it to work, but you're not getting the understanding. It's becoming more and more incomprehensible and harder to read. Make me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, great. Okay. Let's see. What's my wisdom? Okay, I'm gonna burn a luck just in case. Oh yeah. Okay. 16.
16.
16.
You take 5 points of psychic damage.
Sure.
And you feel sort of like this sharp pain in your head. And you end up having just a sort of like cough. And the rest of you end up having to notice that there's these similar to what it came out of the sack from the body you had found before. Sort of kind of like this like brownish green dust. Sort of, you happen to like exhale from like your coughs. And the little boy's like, you probably shouldn't go too far deep. That happens to be too. I don't think we're supposed to read that yet.
A warning would have been nice. I close the book. Push it away.
I didn't know how much you were going to go far. I'm sorry. And just kind of takes the book back. I didn't think, Oh,
Okay.
but yeah. So everybody really isn't technically there anymore. I mean, like they're there, but they're not there.
What do you mean?
There's
they're
a
there,
really
but not
big-
there?
There's a really there's like a really big like mushroom in the center of town. And my mom's in it.
Your mom is in the mushroom.
Yeah. But I try not to go see her though, cause a couple times that I tried to like wake her up, she got like really mad.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That makes a lot of sense.
She said that it's not safe for me to be over there, and then she gets like really upset, so I like leave. But
Okay.
Well, okay. So I guess
now he's just kind of now just sitting there, just sort of just like in his feet. 'Cause his
I
feet
guess
are
we
like
have,
down from his head.
2 courses of action. First, we can report back if we wanted to, indicating that there's a giant fucking mushroom in town that seems to have everybody. So that answers that question. Oh, and 2, we can go investigate the mushroom and whatever might be waiting in there for us.
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna leave a bunch of people inside a mushroom.
Yeah, I was afraid of that. How about you two?
She's the
What do you
only-
think?
she's technically the only person that's in the mushroom. Everybody else is. They're either like standing or like laying down or like sitting.
That doesn't sound a
Um,
whole lot better.
Not so much.
They're really dry too, which I think's weird. I don't touch them though because I don't want to. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, I was
not
gonna say,
touching them
I
is
say,
a good
I-
idea.
I would say at this point the effects have worn off from the liquid that you drank, for sure. It's worn off for like a little while. You're just kind of like a little dazed.
Can I take some of that for later?
I don't think that's a good idea because I still want to try to figure out what it is, and I don't know how much else that my mom has.
Is that a no?
Yeah, it's not a good idea. It's a no.
That's
That's a no. That's a no. Sorry, Marlon. That's a no.
Leave the kid
I
alone.
That's right. I'm sorry. I'm so rude. What was everyone's names? I'm sorry. I'm a bad host.
I am Lago.
You're just like a
Tremaine.
giant rabbit. I kind of like your ears.
Oh, thank you. I kind of just.
I'm sorry. What was your name? Looks over to Tremaine.
Quentin.
Jermaine.
Oh, okay. Nice to meet you. You think you've been in the sun a little bit too long. You're not as dry as the other people out there, but you just look a little dry.
Called getting old, kid.
She needs
Oh.
more milk.
I'm
What's
gonna-
up with you and milk? I heard you talk about milk earlier when you were fighting my
Oh,
friend.
this is. It's best not to delve too deeply into that.
Isn't your armor
I
really
turned to
heavy?
Quentin.
A new acolyte
Yeah, I
in
was-
making.
What is it? The kid ends up having to look to Quentin. Isn't your armor like really heavy? That's a really big shield. And he'll
It
end
was
up having
heavy,
to like stand up and kind of like he quickly like sort of like walks over and just starts like knocking at it and like looking up or whatever. He's what is it? The shield's probably just like a little bit taller than
Yes, it used to be heavy, but milk helped me grow up quite strong.
maybe I should get a shield.
Or some
Maybe you
milk.
should drink
I
some
wonder how
milk.
I can get a shield.
No.
No,
Maybe
no.
if I went
How
into
about-
town, I can get a shield. But no, the
Speaking
big
of the
city
town,
would-
Can you show us where everyone is?
Okay, sure. Oh, okay. Can I try something that might be a little weird?
You're gonna have to
Okay.
elaborate.
We don't do weird.
Well, here, okay, hold on a second. And just give me 1 second. And he ends up having to walk over to sort of like the little work table or whatever. And he ends up having to grab off to like the side, which just looks like this big old sort of like leather satchel that seems to be on sort of like a metal stand or whatever that has like a bunch of handles, and he grabs one and he pulls out a what looks to be more of like a harvesting sickle. He kind of like looks at it and is like, "This should be okay." And he like takes it to his head, and he very carefully and lightly shaves off some of his hair, and kind of like puts his hand over top of it to sort of like collect it. And he puts it over top and brushes it off of the blade into sort of like a mortal and pestle. And then he puts down the sight, and he sort of like, "Excuse me, pardon me," and walks over to like the shelf, and he's kind of like rummaging or whatever, and is like looking for something. And he's like double checking bottles, and like he checks a box and opens it, and like, "Nah, that's not it." And he pulls out like another box, and then you hear like a squeak, and you see sort of like this small like little thing pop out. And, "Whoa, Jeremy, you don't do that. We've talked about that." And you see sort of like this little mouse that happens to sort of like jump off the shelf and then jump and like hops on like the ground, kind of like behind him. It's this little sort of like white with like brown spotted mouse that looks like he has like a couple small mushrooms growing off the top of his head, and sort of like some like mold patches on him. He just kind of sort of like squeaks and like scurries around, and then ends up having to scurry up the side of the little boy, and he ends up having to grab the box that he has and moves over, and he pulls out what looks to be like another set of like light green clear vials, and opens it and pours into like the mortar and pestle and kind of like crushes it up or whatever, and then he pours it into a bowl. So I did this with a couple of the animals, and it seemed to work. So you gotta drink it.
What?
It's
Why?
fine, I promise. And then like he drinks it, takes like a couple gulps. Just trust me. It's okay.
Why?
It'll help you for when we're in town.
I've
in
drunk
what way?
worse. I'm gonna take it. Like, oh, okay. Sure. Drink it.
Okay. It-
I pass it.
It oddly tastes strongly of flowers and alcohol. And it kind of sort of like puts you off kilter for a second. You sort of like lose your balance and gotta like catch yourself. And you feel sort of like a light kind of like pulse in your head. But then other than that, just after like the pulse, everything just kind of like shakes off.
Ooh, that was weird. I feel good.
Marlon, do you drink from the bowl?
Sure, yeah.
Supple.
Jermaine, do you drink from the bowl?
Huh?
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh.
Quentin, do you drink from the bowl?
Of course.
Of course.
Okay, so that should be good. And there's still like a little bit of left, and he just kind of just pours it on the ground and puts the bowl back. Okay. So the town's kind of like a little bit of ways that way. From what Jeremy's told me, we should not go to the mountainside, and we all should try not to go to the mines. But other than that, I think we should be okay. Cause they're both kind of out of the way anyway, so we should be fine. So, ready to go?
Yep.
DM.
Sure.
Short rest?
Oh. Sure, why not? Fuck it.
Ha.
Yeah.
Uh,
Why not? Fuck it.
Secondly, boy,
Huh?
do you have more of what I rubbed into my face? The clear milk.
No. Wait. Hold on. And then he walks back over to the box that's still sitting over there and kind of like looks at it and picks it up. And he shows you an empty box. No. I think that's all that she had left, but that's okay. And then he puts it back, and then he puts the box back down on the table. Hold on. And he grabs his book, and he kind of like sets it up in like the straps on his back, and he kind of like readjusts it and everything. Okay. Let's go. And he takes you guys outside, and he takes you guys out of the hut. At this point, the the Zerkwood has already made its way back and is now sitting in a different position to where you once found it. The boy walks over and kind of grabs and picks up his walking stick, and he leads y'all, continuing eastward further into the valley.
Real quick.
Go ahead.
It's getting real late. I've been up like all day, and I'm also keeping my roommate up, the guy that's sleeping in here with me.
Yeah.
So I might have to dip out. Like
That's cool.
soon, probably by 12 a.m. EST.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, cool.
It's gonna be
Fine,
thousands
Yeah, I
of
know it's
seconds,
getting
I
late.
guess.
Sorry. Yeah.
This just
So-
feels like a good moment to leave. I don't
Okay,
know,
that's good.
maybe.
That's cool.
So yeah, Quentin just kind of like, I must take some of this mushroom milk back to the acolytes. They need to know of its existence. Milkman, good luck.
Feed them all.
They will be fed by prophet.
See you later, you fucking weirdo.
It was nice with the
Sorry.
big shield, man.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
No,
No,
I
you're
see.
good.
That's it.
Right.
All right. See ya.
Do we have a lot left, Liam? Should
Not anymore. No. I was gonna say I took too long with the intro, but at least now I know for next time that I have to run this. Apologies.
Yeah.
So I did purposely have like a lot. I honestly did have like a lot planned. This is probably more than just a one shot. Now that I kind of sort of thought that anyways. But
Yeah, suss it out sometimes though, to figure
Yeah.
out what you can do.
So-
But it's a lot of fun.
The only
So-
one shot I've ever been in that's actually been a one shot has been Max, and that's because that was just a battle royale.
yeah. So I'll just kind of sum up for you guys, at least for this part, what ends up having to happen. The little boy ends up having to lead you guys into the main settlement. And what you happen to find is sort of like a random sparse disbursement of different sort of buildings that seem to be set up. A lot of them seem to be set up on kind of like stilts or stands, and it seems to be sort of like a very like rocky and gravelly sort of area that's completely overgrown with thick webbing of mycelium. And this area has the largest and widest stalks, with a massive central stalk in the center. Some of these buildings have these large mushrooms that either grow through the sides of them, the corners, completely through, or just in the center. And if you happen to take a closer look into over at this massive central mushroom stalk, you happen to see with closer inspection, it looks to be a slightly charred body of a tiefling. With, you could probably guess to be a woman, just based off of some of the clothing that still happens to be intact. And there happens to be remnants of what looks like rope, and towards sort of like the base of where she stands looks to be sort of charred pieces of wood. Sort of like large pieces of like lumber and timber. And then at that point, we could just say and assume that, y'all happen to like go and investigate, find out or whatever, and then decide just to book it out of Dodge and head back. So.
Okay.
okay.
That cool?
To
That's
be
cool, yeah.
continued. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well,
so
that
I
was fun.
think I drawned out the beginning a little too much, or moreover, I should have just been a little bit more expedient just to get you guys into sort of the main area that I have set up here. But did you guys want to see the map, the overall map that I made?
Yeah.
Would there have? I assume there was some other, like another big fight or something.
Well,
I'm sure
yeah.
that I was
So,
a big bad.
yeah, basically. So, well, what I basically wanted, if I was expedient enough, you all were basically going to be fighting up against the little boy's mom, who I didn't state it, but its name is Lucius. You're basically going to be fighting up against Lucius's mom, the original owner of the tome. this definitely is a now I think about it, this definitely is a multi-session thing. Do you guys just want me to sort of tell you overall everything, or no case? Nah, it's up to you guys. Want me to tell you everything? Yes? No?
I would say no, just in case we
No?
ever finish it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then I will not show you the map.
There you go.
Oh,
Okay.
So, because then it would like reveal some stuff. So, okay, but yeah. So,
Well, thank you for hosting our little the tonight's session. That was fun.
Yeah.
And we had
sorry,
kids.
I feel like that not too much happened, or some things was drowned out, or was drawn out. But again, this is the first one shot that I've written, so like genuinely. So
Yeah, we had fun.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, it's fun.
It was interesting.
It got milky.
For your actual one shot, you have to include the milk for when you play with your with your brother.
God.
Just
You have to
throw,
include milk in it now.
yeah, throw in some kind of weird milky thing just for me.
you got it. Over here, I'll see that. I have
You
the
got
actual
it. Writes notes. Add milk.
Milk,
add
not milk.
mention of milk for Matt.
All right, I'm gonna stop the
Yeah.
recording.